prophets who lie. Abraham lied about Sarah being his wife. Um, Jacob and Isaac lied about other shit. This God consistently uses deception for the purpose of accomplishing his purpose. If you go back to the Garden of Eden, he was not honest about the ramifications of eating the fruit. The fruit did not cause death. It wasn't that they would die from eating the fruit, is that God would kill them. Those things are deceptive. So when you read in this Bible, the actions that this God himself admits to doing and taking and the nature of the people that he uses, they are deceptive. That's what the topic is. Can you speak to that?
Yes. I wasn't aware that you guys were speaking about the specificities written inside of the book. I'm speaking more of in a general perspective. That's why I was appealing to spirituality.
And that's why I tried to cut you off when you first started appealing to spirituality, because we don't speak about that in here. That's not the topic of this live.
Okay, all right. But can you see how it still applies to the topic though?
Nope, not at all. Would you like to
Okay.
connect it? Because I don't see how that's
I
connected
would.
to the Bible at all.
I would. Although it's not about what's written inside, I'm speaking more from an esoteric standpoint, or somebody who might be a part of a different, more open religion like Buddhism, which is not really even a religion, is more of a philosophy. um you can't just present the book to somebody and then tell them that this is the written word of God. It just doesn't work like that, especially somebody who's actually logic oriented. Um Nobody can come up to someone and be like, okay, this is the written word of your mother, even though I never met her and I know that she's dead. Like, it doesn't work like that. You see what I'm saying? That's how I would like to connect it. But if we are speaking more in a viewpoint of, or a context of conversation that is inducive of what's exactly inside of the book, I can get into that as well. But I wasn't aware that that's the type of framework regarding to the conversation that you guys are operating in.
Well, that's what I was saying in the beginning. And the prompt is about the Bible and the God in the Bible and the fact that that character is deceptive. This is an internal
Right.
critique. So it's not necessarily about the efficacy of writing things down and passing it along to people that way. It's about the character of God in this Bible and that he utilizes deception.
Okay. All right, I can also speak to that, but hopefully that also did something, because I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. But in terms of that,
What
no,
does that
I
what does that mean? Hopefully that did something. What did something?
no, like if just about hearing another person's perspective about something, even if the context was a little bit more broad, like in a positive manner, not anything negative. More so like, oh, it was nice to hear his perspective, because I feel like I had a different way of thinking about it since I was unaware of you guys' conversational framework.
Okay.
You keep saying
Yeah.
that, but she told you. She told you what the framework is. If you had to listen and allow her to finish saying what she was saying about what the framework was, then we wouldn't be here with you still not
I
addressing the
did I
topic.
did hear her.
And then look, you're cutting me off while I'm doing some explaining again.
I did hear her, but I guess I didn't understand what she meant specifically. There is a difference. And my apologies for cutting you off. I had assumed you were finished at that last point.
My words were still flowing.
Yeah. But at the end, like, for me, I don't feel like you can see it. I understand how, like, I'm just perceiving things in a different way. That's all I can say. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of sighing and stuff going on. So I guess I said what I said. I don't want to get into the topic anymore, because I feel like it's not really a friendly space to have a conversation. I feel like me having a different perspective, or a different way that I perceived how you guys wanted this conversation to go, is kind of getting on you guys' nerves. So I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, you
Thank
can
you
feel free to.
guys for
You're,
opening this.
yeah, you're welcome. I mean, the issue is that we tried to tell you what the topic was, and even when you started speaking, and I was telling you that you aren't speaking on the topic, you continue to speak on what you wanted to speak on. So it's not that we don't recognize alternative perspectives. It's just that what you were talking about was not on topic. That's pretty much it.
But I don't want you to word it in a where it's like I wanted to speak about it in a different framework. That's how I interpreted it. Out of my best intention, I wanted to do what was conducive to the conversation, what I felt like you guys are going to resonate with, but that isn't the case. So it's not necessarily about me wanting to do something out of selfishness, or it's because I'm refusing to hear. I have a different mind and I saw things a different way. You see what I'm saying? So that's all. But thank you guys for opening the floor. And yeah, have a good night.
I, I don't get that. I don't get. Everybody has a different mind. Like that statement makes absolutely no sense to me. There's no way that as much as we talk on a regular basis, every single day, damn near all day long, I can't tell you what Thinker's next thought is going to be. I can't give you Selena's perspective. So everyone is going to have a different perspective. But that has nothing to do with the fact that he was not on topic. He never spoke about the God in this Bible at all. Like, I don't know why people do that.
Oh goodness. Y'all continue to tap up the live. Like I said, since we're on the backup, we're gonna have to nurture this page because I haven't been on this page in quite a while. I had to send a clip to Nebula. I don't know. She said that they're biased, especially now, which I know. We know what we're dealing with. Unfortunately, we're dealing with people who want the world the way that it is. Like that, it literally just makes me think, like, if they don't, I don't know. Like, I honestly have no idea because it's so it's cynical when you think about it that they're okay masking around as if they want goodness, but they don't. And those that are in power don't want it like that. And the people that should be fighting against the oppressive regime are okay with it being like that.
And they actively fight for their own subjugation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, like, because, like, if y'all listen, I just listened to the clip. Like, she is disgusting in that clip.
Oh, she is. I heard her. She was doing that thing where, they've been doing that recently, I guess, the folks who go around lives acting like assholes. They say one word every time they unmute.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing that.
Yeah. Yep. And, like, like, you would think that if anybody would feel some type of way about being deceived by this religion, it would be black people. The crazy thing is, I see more white people deconstructing from this God than black people. And black people, all people, who engage with God, all communities have been harmed, but communities of color have been harmed at an astronomical rate. And when they can't see or don't care, because what then? What then? And they're okay with it. They're okay with it. And they sit there and they watch people defend their God being that nasty.
And still stick with it.
And stick with it and defend it. Because what they care about at that moment is harm. Like, they don't even realize that in their minds, because they're mad that we are talking negatively about their belief system, they don't even realize that they're sitting there enjoying harmful behavior while denying that their God is harmful. And then their excuse is, I'm human. That's their excuse.
Yep.
I'm human and I'm not perfect. And she even said that when she was on stage. Like, if you got Jesus, like what do you need Jesus for? If you still gonna be an asshole?
Yeah, because we're also human and not perfect, and would never do that.
Exactly. Like
I would never do that. I would never go into a believer's live or even any conversation and do that. I would never call people names that way, slurs to already marginalized individuals. I would never do that without your Holy Spirit, without your God's guidance.
that's that's why I said, like when they were saying those ableist comments about that dog on that video, like that
Mhm.
word just flows right out of their mouth. They don't think. They don't think twice. They don't care. They don't care about people who have disabilities. Y'all, it's so fucking ableist and like you it's exceptionalism. Like, but do you think, like, here you are saying that you're not perfect because you are a sinner, yet you use your mouth to talk about somebody who was born with a mental disability and call them a fucking slur, while at the same time you believe that your God created every human? Like, it's, I don't even have the words that my heart is even trying to fucking convey right now. I'm so fucking disappointed.
Mhm.
I'm not even angry. I am disappointed.
It's heartbreaking because you think about the real lives of people who have to live under that. I think about their children. Like I really do. My heart breaks for the children who have to be raised in the type of household that's run by this type of mindset, the incoherence. Because I can remember as a child seeing things like, or I would know that, we go to the Kingdom Hall, my dad's holding my mom's hand and putting his arm around her, and then they're arguing at home. Right? Like it was incoherent. I know what that incoherence feels like. It was incoherent to see, to be at my friend's house and they're at the Kingdom Hall. And then when we get home, her dad is like yelling at them. Like they're saying one thing and experiencing another. And that type of incoherence, if left unchecked, it leads to what we experience with these believers, where they can come in here to tell us how horrible we are, how terrible we are, how carnal we are as human beings because we don't love their God, and then end the conversation with bitches and all kinds of names and death threats. They can do that, and in the same mind, somehow, because they have separated logic and reason from their experience in life, they can still walk away from the conversation thinking that they represented their God well.
Which is crazy because, like, if you look like us, like, according to them, right? If we're so unclean because we sin, and then you sin because you're not perfect, but you have Jesus, what the fuck? It's the set. Like, what's different? You believe in a ghost? Well, like, what the fuck is different? And then I don't get, I will never understand the level of fucking hate that they have for a God they don't use.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never understand that shit. It makes no fucking sense.
This idea of God is just the permission that they give themselves to be horrible people.
One of,
It is. Huh.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's the authority that they give their bigotry. Like they can be horrible people, think horrible things, behave horribly, say terrible things, not care about other folks, be apathetic, see that they see and have the ability to help other humans and not do it and still consider themselves holy because of God.
The thing is, Jesus Christ is King. I'm not claiming to have a king named Jesus Christ. I curse because I fucking want to curse. You all curse with Jesus while judging other people for doing the same shit you do with the blood of Jesus running through your fucking body. That's the difference. That's the difference. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. That's the difference. Y'all point fingers at other people while saying I still sin. That's the difference. I don't give a damn if you don't curse. I said you all. Those of you, you ain't Jesus, and you ain't the only fucking Christian on the planet. I said you all. And the thing is, y'all are so individualist. Y'all supposed to be one body. Y'all supposed to be unified, but y'all talk about yourselves as if you are the only Christian on the fucking planet.
In their minds, I think they are. At least they're the arbiter of what Christianity is. Every single one of them believes that they are the arbiter of Christianity. And the most insane thing is that to come in here and complain about curse words, words that have absolutely no power whatsoever, other than to land on your ears in a way that may feel uncomfortable to you. That's the only thing that you can point out. You don't give a shit about what we're talking about. You don't care that we're talking about behaviors, harming people. You don't care that we're talking about legislating what people can and cannot do with their bodies. You're more concerned about the phonemes that come out of my mouth. This belief system is I said it, and I will say it all day long. It is a coat of paint. That is all it is. You paint something, a bridge, if you will, to make it look as though it's sturdy, to make it appear sound, to make it appear reliable. But it doesn't cover the fact that you are the actual cracks in the foundation. That's what this belief system creates. It creates a system of ways to avoid accountability at every turn. They
The
are not good people.
the fact that his response to you was, no ma'am, that's Islam. Like, y'all want to cry persecution all the fucking time, but y'all don't have a problem throwing up another religion and saying about another religion what you don't want people saying about you and yours. And then you just sat there and said the sin you do struggle with, you can't talk about it. The fact is that you still sin, yet you are pointing fingers at other people. You still sin with your Jesus being your king. And y'all can't figure out why people don't want to fucking be around y'all. Why nobody wants to be with you. Nobody wants to be a part of you. You can't figure that shit out. If y'all were good, then people would flock towards you, not run the fuck away. Your churches wouldn't be shutting down, going bankrupt. Y'all wouldn't be trying to force laws to force people into church the same way they're trying to force women to be with men. In your book, your Jesus says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. But y'all motherfuckers don't do that. That's why I say your Jesus is a lie. Y'all don't know shit about love. You don't know shit about kindness. All y'all fucking do is judge people while being fucking dirty yourself. Like, y'all haven't even taken your own fucking clothes to the wash while you're trying to tell somebody else to go wash their fucking dirty clothes.
Every characteristic under the Christian framework can be boiled down to compliance and obedience or control. Like, either that. They want us to comply and be obedient to the rules that their God they've determined their God wants for the purpose of controlling who and what we are. That's the trinity of Christianity right there, to be perfectly honest with you. Because they don't care about growth. They don't care about being better. They don't care about any of that shit.
And then one of them went on my main page talking about thank God. Like, your God didn't stop shit. Even if I didn't have this backup, I would still talk what the fuck I talk. I would still say what the fuck I say. I don't need TikTok. I don't need a TikTok live to not believe in your God, to say what I think about the book, about the God. Like, y'all are fucking ridiculous. And then y'all are adults. Y'all are adults acting like scared little kids over some fucking words. You act like the words are going to take you out or something. Y'all are like literally ducking and dodging, scared that lightning going to strike you down or some shit. This is fucking ridiculous. And then the fact that Two black women. Like, I sat there and I even asked Selena not to cut her off, to let her say what she needed to say, and that I do not want to cut them off just because we don't like what they're saying. And then she couldn't even turn around and give me the same respect. And not one fucking believer in the comments said what you're doing isn't right. Not one time did y'all tell her that her behavior was wrong. Y'all want to talk about us when we cut people off for not being on topic. Y'all want to come in here. Y'all are abusive. Y'all want to abuse people freely, and you don't want people to stand up to you in your fucking abuse. Y'all are harmful. You're harming the people in your families, and they don't want to have nothing to do with you. You're harming the people that you engage with. You're just harmful. Mike West. Jay, are you in the box on purpose or on accident? Like, I swear her behavior, like, I swear there are some believers that come in here that solidify for me over and over and over again. I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this. I haven't seen anything attractive about this religion, about this God, about this Savior in 3 fucking years.
Yeah, every single day they solidify for me that deconstruction was the right thing to do, and that they show that they can't engage with actual critical thought processes. They don't know how to do that. Why would I want to atrophy my brain like that intentionally? I wouldn't do that. And even the ones like I think it was you that said that yesterday. It might have been Zena. That the believers who are willing to actually use their minds and think, it's really hard for them to stay in this belief system. And I think that pattern in and of itself should be more of a red flag for folks who are still under this belief system, because what you have to do is abandon pretty much everything that you know about reality in order to accept this one. Now, just doesn't mean what we understand it to mean. Deception doesn't mean what we understand it to mean. You have to say things that make absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. God is too far beyond our comprehension, and then you start to explain him. That doesn't make any sense.
Then somebody in the comments just asked me, "Who do you worship?" Listen to that fucking question.
Exactly.
Like you sound like I don't know. Do you need to worship somebody? Can you not breathe unless you worship something? Do you have to worship something? You have to worship somebody.
Like, who told them that? Where did they get that from?
What does worshiping do for you? Worshiping benefits the thing that you're worshiping, and your worship makes that thing bigger. That's how your worship benefits that thing, because you worship the God. The God gets more power, more validity. Worship benefits the God. It doesn't benefit you. You can listen to Beyonce and get the same fucking feeling that you get listening to a gospel song worshiping your God. The same God that you worshiping is the same God that will stay silent while you in the hospital begging him to save your child. Worshiping don't get you any privileges. You don't get put to the front of the line because you worship the most or you worship the best. I don't know why the hell y'all be asking that question.
because they've been their minds have been constructed in a way or have been fostered in a way that doesn't allow them to push past what they have been told is true. Like somebody in the comments now, God is the creator of the universe. A man told you that. A human being told you that.
And then, like, being around so many immature, unintelligent minds in the same place, filled with fear and anxiety. I don't know. Like, I can't even explain. Like, ew. That look. Oh my God! You haven't read Genesis 1, the first chapter. Ugh! Like you got to be 12. You got to be a 12-year-old in here with 40 and 50-year-old people. Like, you can't possibly be a mature thinking adult. You can't.
Because by that logic, then you can get to Hogwarts from platform 9 3/4. Like, just because it's in a book doesn't make it true.
Like, what I need to understand from a believer is like this level of hostility that y'all have. Like that in that movie, y'all said the title the other day, but that man was ready to beat that man up who was grieving over the loss of his mother and his children. That pastor was ready to beat that man up for that man saying your God is fake. Like, why do you think a supposedly big ass God with all the power in the world need you to fight another human for it? And why is that your reaction? That the same God that you are going to go and beg to move a fucking mountain for you because you believe that you are in spiritual warfare need you to fight a fucking mortal? Why? I need to understand that. What is your logic behind that? You say that your God can do anything outside of a human body. Then why is he using your human body, your human mouth to fucking defend himself? Why are you defending the God? I need to understand that. Because if I actually believed that I had an all-powerful God, I would just sit back and let you run your mouth and let you see. Let you see what that all-powerful God gonna do. But the way that y'all respond lets me know that y'all don't even believe it.
The way that they live shows that they don't believe it. Like, how many believers that have unfortunately gotten into a car accident didn't call 911 and just pray, oh, God is going to save me? No, the fuck he's not. You need the EMTs to come do that. Oh, I'm going to stay at home because God is going to pay my mortgage. No, the fuck he's not. You have to go to work for that.
Look at this dumb shit. We do it because it's to wake you up and warn you. Motherfucker, you don't listen? Your behavior is what creates atheists. Well, your behavior didn't have shit to do with my ass becoming atheist, but your behavior keeps me atheist. Now, I say I'm an agnostic atheist because I don't know everything. I don't know. But I know I don't want no parts of what you got. I know that for sure. If there was a category for never a Christian, then I would check that box. I'm not ever gonna be a Christian ever again. Ever. There is absolutely nothing neither one of you can say to me that will make me become a Christian ever again because of your behavior. Good. Thank you. I was never a Christian. You can wipe that shit off my record because I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed for ever thinking that this shit was true.
I also think that response shows that they don't know how to think. Because saying that you were never a Christian completely removes the variable of new information, of thinking about things differently, of questioning things. They're pretty much verifying for us that their brains are calcified when they make the statement, you were never a Christian. Because they're guaranteeing that they can't change, which means they can't learn and they can't grow. Nobody wants to be around that. Think of every society that tries to hold on to what is or what was. Y'all end up going through this extinction burst. That's what we're dealing with right now. because the only thing constant is change. But y'all want to refute the reality that we share. They're not smart people. That's part of the problem too. And their lack of intelligence is rewarded by acceptance into this belief system that does nothing but wreak havoc across this globe. And when we try to tell them, look, you may think that this is what you're doing, but this is how we're receiving it, they don't give a shit, because they are not the type of people who have been taught to be concerned about the impact of their actions. The only thing they can focus on is their God. They are incredibly selfish.
Y'all keep liking the live up. Got to feed the beast over here, so that we can get on the FYP. As I stated, I haven't used this account, man, in months, since the last time we got suspended. As of right now, we are here until the 19th, which is what, Thursday? Is that Thursday? Yeah, we're here to Thursday. Yeah. So no, that's the 19th is Thursday. Friday is the 20th. Yeah. So we'll be here unless they approve the appeal that my agent submitted. I had to send her a clip of the conversation, because the clip they sent me we can't play. I want them to show me where I use slurs. And then we'll be here on this backup tomorrow and Tuesday for 2 days. So we have to nurture the algorithm, and that means feeding the beast, because that's the only way TikTok's algorithm works, and how they gauge engagement. So I appreciate y'all for that. I wish there was, I don't know. I really do wish there was a way that I could just avoid them altogether. I really do.
I mean, it's unfortunate that they are incapable of seeing the impact of their belief systems. Like even the one in the comment saying, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. Like that's all they have. They issue threats of comply or you will die. That's all they're saying. That's the crux of their belief system. Do and be who I want you to be, or my God is going to get you.
But the thing is, like, their God ain't gonna do shit. That God don't do shit for them.
Nope.
Like that's the crazy thing, and they're like bots. Like I just wish I could avoid them altogether.
See, when you point out the fact that their God can't do anything in the objective world, that this God has to use humans, they deny it.
You saved yourself, motherfucker. You didn't get a postcard from your God saying welcome to the club. You saved yourself. Tamika, are you there? Did you come up on accident? You did that yourself. Like it ain't like y'all get a welcome kit from heaven saying, "Hey, welcome, you finally did it." At least when somebody become a nerd, they get access to the Discord.
I know, right?
Like shit, you don't get
tangible.
Like, shit, you save yourself. BB, BB.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was by mistake. You could take me off. I'm sorry.
No worries. Have a good one. And why are you even in here? Why are you in here? Because it's not to have a conversation. You just in here to be nosy. Like y'all act like ew, just leave. Just go. Like there is no reason for you to be in here, because you're not gonna come up here and have no fucking conversation. And your anxiety and your fear is getting on my damn nerves. Just leave. Not you, BB. I'm not talking about you. Not you, little bug. I'm talking about the Jesus Christ is King account. That is fucking sick. Look, he said, "No, I'm here to strengthen my faith, showing love to you, and you hating me. That's a fucking kink. Like, listen to what they just said. I'm here so you can hate me, so I can love you while you hated me. Y'all are gross. Y'all are fucking gross.
So they can go to church and be like, yeah, you know, the Christians are getting persecuted everywhere. They are doing this and they're like, you're manufacturing your own persecution for the purpose of validating your God. Y'all are too big and too old to not know how to fucking think. You just are.
You are here, and I told you I don't want you to be here. You are crossing a boundary for your own selfish reasons to feed your fucking ego.
I would think the faith would be strengthened also by showing us that what we're saying is wrong. Or going to your Bible and saying, oh, no, God didn't say he was deceptive, but yes, he did. Oh, no, God didn't say rape was an appropriate form of punishment, but you can't do any of those things. So in your mind, where your God resides, that's where you have to manufacture this persecution. Like, and strengthen your faith. Like, what does that even mean? You just continue to delude yourself in a more reinforced way? Like, y'all are not well.
And then thinking about the other conversation, she gave that whole ass speech about how you can't just cherry pick the Bible and you have to know what the context is, and you can't just be saying things and y'all don't know what the Bible say. And then the moment I point out that she don't know what it actually says, she loses her shit. She don't even live by her own fucking words.
Yep, every single time it goes down that way.
And then, like, the thing that I do, I approach every believer that I've never spoken with, even every time that I speak with them, I approach them as if they know the Bible. Like, I don't just assume that somebody doesn't know something, because the moment you get proven wrong, you get thrown off your fucking rocker. I approach every believer as a brand new person. Like, you are a different person than the last. I don't know what the fuck you've read. I don't know what the fuck you studied. I don't know where what you've lived, where you've been. So I don't just approach you as if y'all are just one blanket person, one blanket belief system. But y'all, a lot of y'all come in here thinking that just because we are non-believers, we don't know shit. And then that throws you all the way off, and then you become this disgusting human being. That's what threw her off. That's what pissed her off, because I read it in Hebrew. I told Dr. B in class Wednesday, now I'm a witch because I read Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew reading witch. And the crazy thing is that it's the language that your God apparently orated the Old Testament to his prophets in. But I'm a witch because I read it? That's crazy.
Do you think that's their real gripe with us? That we as non-believers have spent more time with this text than they have as believers? I think that's part of the frustration they feel, because you can't speak to me about a book you haven't read. Like, and every single turn they'll say, oh, the Bible doesn't say that. And then we open it and the Bible says that. And then they proceed to try to explain why the Bible says the very thing that they had no fucking idea that the Bible said.
Absolutely. Remember, I sent you that video where he said, there was a slave ship in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
And I said, this is what I imagine their crash house be. But they can't. They can't, do all that on the stage. Like, in their head, they're crashing the fuck out because the Bible don't say what they've been taught that it said all along. And so they become these disrespectful, homophobic, ableist, disgusted human beings on stage, because their minds and their hearts is fucking whooping each other's ass inside of them, and they don't know how to process it.
Yep.
I think that's a best case scenario, right? When you said on stage, because there are a couple of people. Was it Jordan and Jesus Christ is King that can't even get them on stage. So it's best case scenario that they do that on stage instead of just in the comments.
They too
Sad.
scared.
And then they'll come up and do what he's doing in the comments now. Yeah, you have to take it in context. But what they don't realize is that your already held belief does not create context. That's not what context is. Context isn't like retroactive retrofitting. It isn't reading in your cohesive beliefs because the Bible doesn't align. That's not context. I can tell y'all don't read this book or any other book if that's what you're referring to as context.
I
Like, look
think
it up in the dictionary.
I think the best example of that Kip and I experienced was, I think it was Paul Copan, but it might have been Cliff Connectley. Uh, when they said, we were looking at something, and I'm sure it was in Leviticus 25, and he was like, but you have to understand this in context. So if we go to Genesis 1, wait.
How the fuck you get context from Leviticus and Genesis?
Y'all, listen. I don't know how many times I can say listen, but it's important. Fucking listen. A Christian man was on stage tonight trying to convince me and Nelly that the knowledge of good and evil was one thing. Because there wasn't a period after good.
I'm sorry, what?
There was not a period after the word good in the Bible. So the knowledge of good and evil is one thing.
That'll preach.
I said, you got a mom and a dad. I said, is your mom and dad one thing? He said, that's different. Yep. I said, I don't know where to go with this fucking conversation with you. He said that Adam and Eve had limited free will, but he don't know what they could do in the garden because the garden was spiritual.
Wait, when did the garden get to be spiritual?
And so he started crashing out when I said, you are having a Saturday morning in front of the TV, Teenage Mutant Ninja, I can't fucking even say it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle with a bowl of Cheerios conversation. And I can't bring myself down to that level to understand what the fuck you're talking about. So I think that we should move on. And that's when he started crashing out. Because, bro, what am I supposed to do with good and evil is one thing because there wasn't a period after good? You've basically told me where your level of intellect is. And I told him, I said, I did a cognitive ability assessment to see if you could even be brought up to a level to where you could have this conversation with us, and you failed that. And so there's no need for me to continue conversing with you because all it's going to be is us sitting here making jokes of your fucking low level intellect. And I don't want to do that. Go read, go study, and then come back. But he started crashing out.
Yeah, it's only so much that you can do with folks that are not like capable of engaging on an intellectual level. Because if you don't know that a period is not required after every noun, also that like the linguistic features of one language may or may not be present in another language. Like I don't know how to carry on that conversation with somebody that's looking for a period after fucking good. What?
I mean, maybe if he'd suggested that he view the text through the Sword of Omens.
Through what?
The sword of omens.
The Sword of Omens. Give me
omens.
sight beyond
Come into
sight.
my hand.
Thunder. Okay, sorry.
Okay. That's what it feels like,
That's
though.
exactly what it feels like.
I got to be honest. It's more of an appropriate, or it's a more appropriate analogy, I think, than we realize. Because I can't believe I know this, but here we are. the first occurrence of Lionel looking through the Sword of Omens, he says, "Give me sight beyond sight," and he looks through the handles or whatever, and he sees like a blurry image of about 20 feet in front of him, and the his enemies like appear out of nowhere, and the way that it's framed, it's that it's supposed to give you sight that you wouldn't have with your own eyes. then he takes the sword down, and they're right in front of him. So like in the house, we say, "Give me sight beyond sight. Make my vision slightly blurry, and show me things right in front of me." And that's pretty fucking appropriate here.
It really is.
Series, why did you just follow me? You know I don't like you. I'm trying to block you. It sent you an invitation. Don't come up here. I'm trying to block you. I'm not trying to invite you up here. Hold on, the card. That don't make no damn sense when you know I don't like you. How do I block him? Like, that don't make no sense, serious. Like, I don't have the patience. The only reason why I talk to his ass is because the other deconstructionists will let him come up on their panel while I'm up there. And I swear, every time Sirius comes on stage, I tell myself that I'm not going to pay any attention to him. But the shit that comes out of his mouth is hard to ignore. Why? Yeah, I don't have to block your dumb ass. I'm not. I don't have to block you. Like, you begging to get blocked is just fucking wild.
I mean, they're showing you the power of Jesus right there. Like to come to this backup account after the way she behaved on your primary account, saying the harmful and insulting things that she did in the name of her God, that helps her behave better, is fucking diabolical. These people are not well.
And then begging to get blocked. You didn't do shit. There's no reason for me to block you, other than just be disgusting. I'm pretty sure you did go looking for me. The Carter, how old are you?
41.
Are you a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist? You got to be one of the three.
All right, so I'm a believer, but
I'm not asking if you are a Christian. I'm not asking if
okay,
you believe
I believe.
traditionally in the God of the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 2 topics on the post in red. Okay, now I'm gonna give you the rules. Listen carefully, because Destiny doesn't know how to listen. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I run my room. All right, this is not a debate, although you will be talking to people who disagree with you. Okay, it's okay to get passionate. I don't give a fuck about that. I curse.
No
I don't
problem.
care if you curse.
No problem.
Okay. The topics are in red. The goal is for us to get to an understanding, not necessarily in agreement, but an understanding. We can agree to disagree, or we can come to an understanding of what that topic is about. Are you there, Carter?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Once we get to an understanding of the topic that you picked that's in red, then we move to what's in black. Okay.
Okay.
And the goal of that is to try to move the conversation into a more deeper conversation. Okay.
All right.
You're in a room with people who like to read and who like to discuss things on an intellectual level. We
No
like to do
problem.
that, but we also will get ghetto than a motherfucker if we get disrespected.
No problem.
Okay.
I got that. I'm the same. We family.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Now the last rule is don't interrupt the host when a host is talking, or another person on stage. All right.
I got you.
We will not interrupt you just because we don't like what you're saying. But
No problem.
but listen to this one, because this is important, because Destiny fucking forgot this one. Okay. A host will interrupt you if you go off topic, or if you are not answering questions. If you just start talking about some random shit and a host just asked you a question, we're going to stop you and we're going to reiterate the question. Okay? Okay?
Okay. No problem.
All right. Which topic do you want to discuss?
We can do the first one.
All right. Go ahead. What are your thoughts and why? Dr. B, do you want to start this one off? I know you might have to leave it. Look.
Yeah, I can do
So
that.
Okay. Go ahead.
in Genesis narrative, The only character explicitly described as the deceptor is the serpent in Genesis 3.
Can you show me that?
If it helps, Carter,
Give
I
me
can
1
read it
second.
for you. Well, so that
Now give me 1 second. I
well,
got it.
you sure?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
I just want to move things along.
The serpent doesn't start with the command. He start with distortion. Did God really
Sorry, I
say?
just want to make sure. So I just want to make sure my question was clear. Can you show me where the text says that he was deceptive?
3:1-5. It's between 3:1 and -5. The serpent doesn't start with the command. He start with distortion.
Well, he
Did
actually
God really
he
say?
starts with a question, right?
He starts with the question.
Okay, is that deception?
That's distortion.
But is that
He
deception?
starts with distortion.
Okay,
What is distortion?
yeah, I know what the word distortion means. I
Okay,
want you to show me,
so
sir.
let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, I want you to show
Let me
me not
finish.
this. Okay,
Let
I
me
Hey,
finish.
will.
hey,
I'm
hey,
not
Do you
finished.
Carter,
remember?
Carter, remember the rules. Remember the rules.
That was 2 seconds ago.
Goodness gracious. Go ahead, Dr. B.
Carter, I'm here, man, for you. I just need you to show me. There's a reason I'm asking you that.
If you could let me finish, I could
Let
show
him
you.
Okay,
finish talking, Carter. And then you'll understand what he's asking you.
I absolutely will let you finish. My concern is that you're showing me something that I didn't ask for. But go ahead, show me the deception.
It's your turn now.
You want me to show you the deception?
Yes, sir.
Doctor and
Okay.
Doctor,
Are you gonna interrupt me or are you gonna
hold on,
listen?
Carter. Hold on, Carter. Doctor B. While we're on this scripture, do you remember that question I asked you in class on Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that we could, once you talk to him, do you think that we could address that? Like, what
Yes,
have you had
definitely.
time to look at it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Carter.
Okay. The serpent doesn't start with a command. He start with distortion. Did God really say? That's not confrontation. That's reframing. Then he escalates. You will not surely die. God knows you will be like God. So the narrative frames deception as questioning the clarity of instruction, denying consequence, appealing to autonomy.
Are you just
Nothing in
reading something to me that you
nothing in the
chat
text.
GPT? Sir,
This is something.
stop.
This is
Yeah,
something that I.
stop, sir.
You're
Sir,
not
just
listening.
stop. Yeah,
See how you
I
want to
am
shut me
listening.
down.
Yeah,
You see how
because
you
you're
want to shut
reading
me
chat
down because it's
GPT to
something you
me.
don't
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, no, you're that's true. It is something that I don't agree with. Right, but it's not because I disagree with it that I'm stopping you. Right? You're reading chat GPT to me. And I can do that on my own. I can get bad information from chat GPT on my own. What I'm asking you is, where is the deception? So let me try to steel man what you've said thus far, right? What you've read from ChatGPT thus far. ChatGPT is trying to make the argument that the serpent lied when the serpent said, "You will not surely die." Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
You're on mute, Carter.
Does the serpent not contradict God?
Is that a lie?
Does he not contradict God?
He does. Yes. Is that
So
a
is that
lie?
not is that not deception?
No, it's not. Do you
How
know
is
what
that not?
deception means?
How are
Tell
you
me what
not?
deception means. Tell me what deception means.
Deception is deceiving somebody.
Yes, thank you
So when
for
you deceive
the
somebody,
tautology there. Yes.
you're gonna
What is
distort.
deception?
You're
No,
gonna distort the truth.
the truth. Thank you. Can you define truth for me
Oh my
in this
goodness!
context?
You wanna keep if you're gonna
Hey, Carter, take a deep breath.
rebuttal
Carter,
everything
Carter,
I say, then
Carter,
this is not gonna
Carter,
go anywhere.
Carter, take a deep breath. If you remember me saying that you are going to be talking to people who do not agree with you, you've got to learn how to handle, uh, uh, what do they call it? Hard conversations. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Like, you're not gonna die because Dr. B don't agree with you. Are you there? Yeah, he about to flip out. Take a deep breath. We don't agree with you.
We don't agree.
Hold on.
I don't want you to
Hold on.
agree with me, but I
Carter,
want you to
Carter,
hear me. Yeah, I want to be
Carter, I'm
heard before I'm
talking right
shut
now.
down.
Carter, I'm talking right now. You will be interrupted if you are not answering the question that is asked. If you start, and I said this already, if you start talking about something,
After the fact,
Carter,
though.
stop. No, no. I told you turn your camera off. I told you turn your camera off, Carter. I don't allow cameras on stage. I told you from the beginning, if you start talking about something that is not asked, we will interrupt you to keep you on topic. Okay? The question he asked you is, what is the definition of deception? And you said deceiving is deception. That's like saying white is white or ice cream is ice cream. Come back to the live, Carter. You just said the same word. You didn't give a definition for deception. That's why Dr. B stopped you. Deceiving isn't deception. That's not the definition, okay?
Deceiving isn't deception.
That's not the definition. Saying
So
Carter, listen, listen, Carter,
let me
listen. When you
hold on.
say
Give me 1 second.
Carter, you're not listening. I
Let me
never had this much trouble with my kids. I don't have this much trouble with my grandkids, and these are grown ass adults.
Carter, let me try to reframe this so that I'm not asking questions. Let me give you my position here so that it's clear.
Okay. So
Okay. Did
let me
you did
give
you
you
hear the last 6 seconds?
let me give you the definition of deception.
Carter,
Because
did you hear the last
you're
six
you're
seconds of what I said?
because you let me talk and
Okay.
then
Just stop. We're gonna do this differently. Okay. So the position that I'm espousing here and that other panelists are going to espouse is that the figure in Genesis 2 and 3 that was deceptive was not the serpent. The figure that was deceptive in Genesis 2 and 3 was the deity, right? When God said, "You will certainly not die," that is the statement that was deceptive because it does not align with reality. However, what the serpent said, they said, "You will not surely die, but God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened." That is what aligned with reality, according to Genesis 3 itself, right? So now you understand the position. What do you think about that position?
you're framing, sure. If you want to frame it as God is saying you will surely die, you're basically saying God is telling them that. That's not God. That's not God being quoted in Genesis 3.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm following your assertion.
Okay. So you said God of the Bible is the God of deception.
Yes.
The beginning of the Bible, the deceptive part comes in Genesis 3. That is when the serpent starts
Yes,
the
I
question.
understand that
Okay.
sorry, I'm asking
So
you about the
let's get
specific statement that you made. That's not God being
so
quoted.
let's get to to what deception means.
No, no, no.
Decep-
I just, Carter, focus, my
Focus
friend.
on what?
Focus.
No,
No, no.
because y'all
On
want
my
to.
question.
You're
On my question.
What's your
On my
question?
question. Stop talking
What's your question?
because you're okay. Listen to it. Will you
Say it
promise to
again.
listen to it? Okay,
Say it
great.
again.
When you said that is not God being quoted in Genesis 3, what do you mean by that?
That's not God speaking.
Yes, I know it's not God speaking. You realize that it's the serpent quoting, it's Eve quoting God.
He's not quoting God. He's lying.
See, that's the issue under contention. Do you remember what God said in Genesis 2:17?
We're not in 2:17. We're
I
in
realize
Genesis
that. I'm
3.
asking you a question. Do you remember what God said? It's germane to the point that you're trying to make.
What did he say?
God said, the day that you eat of the fruit, what?
Did Adam and Eve die?
No, that's
Okay,
the
so you
point.
cannot you cannot jump back to 2:7 and we're in 3. Let's stay focused.
I don't understand what that means.
Let's stay
Why
focused.
did you ask me the
Cause
question,
he,
did they die?
Let's stay focused.
Yeah, I am
oh my
focused.
God, Jesus
Because you
Carter,
Christ.
said
why did
you
you
This is
ask
you
me,
so
Carter?
rough.
you
Carter, why
said
did
once
you
you eat
ask
the
me?
fruit.
Go ahead, Carter, go ahead.
What was the fruit?
I'm sorry, what
What
Is
was
was
the
the
that
fruit?
fruit?
Are
Jermaine?
you asking me like what type of fruit it was?
Oh no, what was the fruit?
I think it was kiwis.
No. What was the fruit? I'm not talking about the type of fruit. What wasn't they supposed to why wasn't they supposed to go to that fruit and eat from it?
I don't
Because the
understand the
God
question that
didn't
you're
want
trying
them to
to
have
ask
a
me because
moral conscience.
that was the command.
That was the command. Who gave that command?
God.
God didn't give them the command to eat from the tree.
All right, sorry, was that
That
a
was the
question?
serpent again.
Jen, do you understand how the
Do you
narrative
do
works in
do
Genesis 2 and 3?
no
Listen,
no
stop,
it's
just
not
stop.
comparative works.
Yeah,
What it
just it's
is
a narrative. Yeah,
instruction
it's not
under
comparative. So listen, let me help. Okay. In Genesis 2, right? God creates humanity, okay, creates Adam, right? And he says, all right, look, you can eat all these trees in this garden that I've created. But this one here, no eat, right? Don't eat this one. Because when you do, you will certainly unalive. Do you remember that part of the story?
Telling a mod in here not to mute the guest on stage is a waste of your fucking time. Like you can't enforce that, Fretz. You can't enforce the shit. It's a waste of your fucking time. And
keep going. You can
he's
I'm
been
listening.
it's Carter, stop
I'm
talking while I'm
listening.
talking. He's
I'm
been
listening. Keep
warned.
going.
Y'all, like, you came in here talking about we family. I respect the rules, but you haven't respected the rules since you've been on this fucking stage at all. Like, y'all, all of y'all act the fucking same. We can't have a civil conversation with y'all because y'all are filled with fucking anxiety. Your mind, your heart, your body cannot hear something that disagrees with what the fuck you already believe. I don't know why y'all come in here because y'all know we don't agree with you. I even tried to prep you and remind you that you entered a conversation with people who don't agree with you. And you are flipping out. You won't even let Dr. B get his question out. Like, and then on top of that, like, y'all have no idea when you're in the presence of someone who has studied extensively on this shit, who has a PhD in this shit, who has gone over to Israel and fucking excavated the shit. Somebody that can teach you about your belief system because you think you already know shit. If we can sit here and listen to you and not agree with you, then you should be able to do it better than us because you claim you have Jesus. Chill the fuck out.
Also, use your brain. It's a requirement.
You good? All right.
Carter, I hate to be that guy, but you lack the
You don't gotta
capacity
agree with me,
to
but
mock people.
I'm not gonna speak from the Bible talking through empire. Because
What?
what people fail to realize is that that Bible once caught.
I don't give a damn about any of that, Carter.
What the fuck does that
That's the
supposed to
problem.
Carter, I
You
mean?
don't
told
care.
you I'm gonna cut you off if you go off topic. And like, I don't, no. No. Nope. I don't have the patience to talk to kindergartners. I don't. Actually, I like talking to kindergartners. They tend to be a lot more smarter than most of you that come in here. They tend to be a lot
I,
more curious than most of you that come in here. Y'all are so filled with fear. Look, there go the ableists. That y'all are all ableist. You get in the comments and y'all become ableist. Y'all are ableist. Like there's nothing good about y'all at all to me.
ain't no fear. What? You were trembling through that conversation, literally trembling. What? Come on, dog. You fear the empire. Nobody even. What the fuck? Are we in WW2 Japan? What are you? What are you fucking talking about?
I mean, if the Empire had that, even if it were the damaged version of the unalive star, right? I would fear it. You know what I mean? Is that what you can call it? The unalive star? I don't know.
Dr. B,
Oh.
Sorry, it was bad. It's bad. Terrible.
Dr. B, what did you find out about the question I asked in class on Saturday?
Yeah. Um, so the question was, if I'll restate it and correct me if I misunderstood it. So in Genesis 3:1, after the text talks about that the serpent was either more crafty or crafty apart from the rest of the animals, the text opens with the serpent asking Eve. It's usually translated like, "Did God really say?" And the grammatical construction that's used in the beginning of that phrase is "af ki." So "af" has different meanings, two primary different meanings. One is like nose, so the thing on one's face is an "af," and then there's another meaning of "af" spelled the same way, and it means like indeed or and. It's very similar in semantic range to "gam," like also even. They're very, very similar. And in fact, they're used in similar. This particular construction uses both "af ki" and "gam ki." It can appear the same way. So, that was part of the question, right? Was why would it use "af," but be translated in that way without having something to do with like the nose? That was part of the question, right?
No, I was trying to see why it was translated as "Has God really said?" and not "Did God also say?"
Okay. Sorry, I thought I remembered that first part from the question, but that's unsurprising that I misheard or forgot something. Yeah, so the construction itself is a little tricky. So, and now that I'm answering it, now I'm not sure that I understood what your question was. So you want to know why it said like really as opposed to and?
Like also or and or also, like like how do they know? Like what is in the Hebrew construct that tells the translator that the serpent is saying, "Did God really say?" or and
Ah,
not saying, "Did God also say?"
yeah, that's a good question. It's I so there are a couple of like if I'm just to make sure I understood your question now. It's like, did God say X and also
Yeah.
Y? Okay,
And not like, "Really? Did he say that?" How do they know to
I
translate it
gotcha.
that way?
So the first thing I suspect is that 3:1 is introducing the serpent. So I think from the narrative point of view, this is the first interaction that they're having. This is the first thing that's being said. So I think that's one aspect of this. The fact that "off" can be used in as a like an emphatic particle, like indeed, really. you know. And so I think given that from the narrative's internal frame of reference, I think the reader is supposed to understand that this is their initial reaction. So their initial interaction. And then secondly, that construction itself appears elsewhere with this, and I can't remember off the top of my head the different references, but if you go to like Hollowed or something, it'll I think it'll show you several of them. But it's funny. I came all prepared to discuss the way that
the nose.
well, no,
Oh.
the key is the really
Oh.
syntactically, that's the difficult bit, is trying to understand, or to wrap your head around how the key works there to introduce it, because it's doing is it's setting up a relative, like a relative clause that functions as the subject of the sentence, which is really complicated to wrap your brain around, which is why there's like an implied did, because it's like very woodenly it would be like, and or indeed, that God said, don't do this, which isn't an English sentence, right? So they have to supply sort of like a, is it true, or did God say, and then the content. So yeah, but that wasn't what you were asking. So I think then, to answer your question and to stop boring everybody to tears, I'm so sorry, probably including you, Thinker. I think the way to get at this is to take either like a Bible Works or a whatever search engine that you're using, and to look at examples of off key. Again, you can do this just by looking at Hollowed, and seeing some examples of it, but then look at how the context drives the translators to make a determination whether it should be read, and or indeed, given the context of the particular phrase, if that made sense.
Yeah. So is the construct usually decided because of the repetition within the text, like the amount of times that they've seen this in the text, and they take that and say, oh, every time we see this means this? Or was that originally one of the like original language rules of the Hebrew text?
Yeah, I don't know that I know that
Okay.
off the top of my head. Now that I have a little more clarity, which again is on me, not on you, as to what you're asking, I'll go do a little bit of that work myself, because I'll have a few minutes today to do that. But yeah, I mean, because you're at a place where like you're just as equipped to do this as I am. So yeah, if you wanna dive into that as well, we'll actually compare notes, see what you come up with. I just want to say, and I'm going to drop because Megan came down and the kids are all getting ready to go nuts. But I just wanted to say, it is so nice coming in here and listening to you interact with people, because like, just so everybody knows that's watching, on Saturday, like Thinker came in. I hadn't updated the syllabus for the Hebrew readings class, and so she had prepped next week's passage and hadn't looked at the one that we were getting ready to do. Again, it's my fault because I had the wrong one listed. And she read it flawlessly, and then really like live interacted with the grammar and the syntax. It was just really, it was just really impressive. And
I was
I just want to thank
sweating.
you for working so hard. No, you did phenomenally. And
I said, is it too late to become a Christian and ask for prayers? Because I had the longest scripture too. I was like, oh shit.
it was like 3 lines. Sorry, go ahead, Fee.
No, I just said Thinker said, Holy Spirit, activate.
Yes. Because I had prepped, and Dr. B said, okay, let's get started. Who's gonna go first? I said me, and then Dr. B was like, And then he was like, Deuteronomy 22. I said, wait, what? Like,
Oh man, that was so funny. And I cannot tell you, and then I'll go. Thank you again for having me. But I cannot tell you how many people I have told since I heard you say it, the story about when you said, God didn't give you your daddy an answer to their prayer. I just can't tell you how many times I've said that now. So it was really funny. All right. Thank you for having me up.
thank you,
And
Dr.
I'll go do that work.
All right. Thank you so much.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank you, ma'am.
All
All
right.
right. You too. Bye.
Stolen valor.
I like hearing these conversations because I think they're good examples of what research should look like, where you are letting the data guide your conclusion as opposed to the conclusion guiding how you engage with the data. And those are two completely different approaches. So when I hear you and Dr. B talk through, like, you know, and you ask the questions, how did the interpreters know or the translators know what was intended by this particular construction of the language? That's scholarly research. What y'all are coming up here doing is just, no, I believe it and therefore it's true. Like those are two completely different things.
Yep, I agree, and it also makes me wonder because like even reading it, has God really said? Even reading it that way, and also reading it the way that it's written. If we read it the way it's written, he says, "Did God also say not to eat from the tree, from every tree in the garden?" That's how it's written in Hebrew. And so even if there is if it has that ND, like really, it still makes me wonder, well, who the fuck told the serpent?
Right. Yeah.
For the serpent to be like, did God really say? Like, who told the serpent? And like, it had to be Adam when he was probably fucking them. Like, because Adam pillow talking. Like, who told him? You know what I'm saying? Because Adam, the God makes Adam. He makes the animals for Adam's partner, and then he's like, "Oh, there's not a partner there." But all of a sudden, an animal knows what God told Adam, but Eve don't. God, you know what I'm saying? Like, who did it? Like that question is there. Like, I don't know who told the serpent. Like, somebody need to host a live. Like, who told the serpent what God said in the garden?
That's a good question.
Yeah. To the person who have, I don't know, you don't have a username, so I'm not bringing you up. I don't bring up people without a username. If you are a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist, y'all, the guest box is open. Yeah, you just followed me. You don't have a username, so when I bring you up, no, you are homophobic and ableist. You are a risk to TikTok Live, so you will never come on my stage again.
And I would also and say if y'all want to, the best way to get annoying things and people away is to ignore them. Like she's in the comments saying things because she's getting engagement. I guarantee y'all, if y'all stop responding to her, she'll go away. That's how people who have absolutely no input in a conversation. That's how they behave.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't exist in my world.
Yeah, they need attention.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know who we talking about.
The reason that we're on the backup, the person was.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
okay. Were you in the live? Are you in?
Nah, my friends caught me up in the comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's so disgusting. Like, it made me disappointed in humanity.
It'll do that. Like repeated people like her, and then the second guy that just came down. It's the same thing. It's like, why? I often want to ask them, when is the last time you learned something and changed your position on that topic? And I would bet donuts to dollars that they don't do that. Like people who think the way that they do are already convinced that they're right. So the only thing that they can do cognitively is protect the belief that they already hold. So if I remember asking somebody this almost a year ago, if not more, like, when's the last time you changed your mind on something because you learned new information? That's not a tenet of their world experience. They don't do that. They don't even want to do that. I think they actively try to avoid doing that, which makes these conversations so difficult. Because even when you were talking to Dr. B, I was thinking back to, the translation class that I told y'all I had to take as part of my interpreter training program. Like, when you're translating from a written text, and you're translating it to a different language, you don't have access to that author's emotional intent. You don't know if that word that you see in Hebrew meant really or it meant also, right? You don't know what that person was trying to convey. So you have to rely on the understanding of the person that's doing the translating. That's why I keep saying, like, if people are interested in truly finding what is true as opposed to protecting what they currently believe, they have to ask these kind of questions, and they have to get a lot more curious than they currently are.
You know, when I was talking to Dr. B, Carter said, got an overseer in here teaching the Bible, having Bible study. This is where there's a lack of historical knowledge, because Dr. B would have been, if we were in slavery times, Dr. B would have been a slave master. The overseer most likely would have been one of y'all asses. The overseer was typically one of us. Just to let you know, Carter, the overseer was usually another slave kissing up to the slave master, Carter. Just to let you know, Carter, read a fucking history book. I posted a video yesterday telling the story of Celeste Avery and her grandmother, Sylvia Hurd. Her grandmother was a badass. Her grandmother was a badass. But Sylvia was a Christian, and she believed in prayer. Her slave master did not believe that slaves should pray. And so every time Sylvia would get up in the morning and pray, she'd get a whipping. And this one time Sylvia was praying, the slave master got so mad that he barged into her cabin. He snatched her up, tore all her clothes off her body, tied her to a sapling tree, and beat her so bad that her skin was raw. And he left her hanging there until night. And then her husband went and cut her down. By the way, she was 9 months pregnant when he did this. And her husband went and cut her down. And she said that her grandfather was so scared to go near Sylvia because her skin was so raw. And instead of going back to the cabin, Sylvia crawled on her hands and knees into the woods, and she hid in the woods and had her baby. She had twins, and she delivered. Her and her husband delivered her babies herself because she was a midwife, and she cut the baby's umbilical cords with a penknife that she carried with her, and she cut her petticoat into two, and she wrapped the babies up in that, and she hid in the woods for 2 weeks. Her master hunted her down for 2 weeks, and then when he finally found her, she had given birth to twins. And then another time, she always got whipped because they said that she didn't meet the requirement of hoeing she's supposed to do a day, because when she got to the end of the row, they wanted her to take her clothes off, and she wouldn't do it. And so one time she stopped at the end of a fence, and the overseer, which was another slave, picked up his arms, was about to hit her. Said her grandmama took that part of that fence off and came down over his arms and knocked the shit out of his ass before he was able to hit her. And then another time, Sylvia ran all the way from the plantation into town because the overseer was beating her husband to death. And she had to go get the slave master to come stop the overseer from killing her husband because that was his money. 9 times out of 10, the overseer was one of us.
Exactly. But when you don't read those stories, you don't identify that these were situations that our ancestors went through. And but for their resilience and their ingenuity and their creativity and all of the things they had to, I mean, one of them not surviving could have meant that we didn't, but they don't care about that. These folks just, they want to cosplay being from the Levant region and pretend that somehow they're connected to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose God didn't give a shit about them during slavery, didn't give a shit about them before slavery, doesn't give a shit about them now. They don't care. They are unintelligent individuals, and this world would be so much more advanced if that mindset was eradicated from this planet.
The day a believer cooks my ass will be the day that I don't go live anymore. That's when y'all know that I've been cooked by a believer, because I will be a Christian. Understand that?
Well,
Hold on.
be prepared.
I'm saying this now. The day that I become a Christian again means a Christian has cooked my ass. Benja. Benja.
Hello, no, I think it's by accident. I don't intend to join
No,
in.
no worries. Have a good one, okay?
Thank you. Cheers.
If you do not have a username, I will not be adding you to my stage. So do not request, okay? The answer is already no. Get a username and then you can come on stage. Or keep the username you have and stop requesting. Yahweh, how old are you?
28.
Okay. You just waking up?
No.
Okay. Are you a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist?
Believer.
Okay. There are 2 topics on the board, okay? The rules of the live are this. This is not a debate, although you will be talking to people who disagree with you, okay? If you don't like what we're saying, take a deep breath. Go on mute. If you need to cuss us out, scream, do it on mute. And then you can come back and do it off of mute when it's your turn, okay? So don't talk while a host is talking. We will not, listen to this very carefully, okay? We will not interrupt you just because we don't like what you are saying, but we will interrupt you if you are not staying on topic or if you are not answering the question that we asked, if we need to reiterate the question to keep you on topic. Other than that, we won't interrupt you, but that doesn't mean we will never interrupt you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The topics in red are the main topics that you can choose from. Once we get to an understanding of the topic that you pick in red, then we move to what's in black, and that's to help us have a deeper conversation, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Which topic in red do you want to discuss?
The first topic.
Okay. What are your thoughts? And do you agree or disagree, and why?
I disagree. I just think it doesn't make sense. God, by his very own nature, being all good, cannot deceive. That would be a contradiction. So that statement, that first statement is just like saying there's a squared circle.
Are you the type of believer that change definitions of words?
No,
Does
I'm not
deceive
an
mean
atheist.
deceive even when it applies to your God? Or like if your God say, I deceive, is the definition of deceive going to change? Or is it going to be that it's not really deception because God did it? Like, are you that type of believer?
Well, if you're talking about in a biblical sense, then yeah, we have to refer to the Greek and the Hebrew
Okay.
to get the original meaning.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you read Greek or Hebrew?
I try to.
Okay. So let's go to Ezekiel 14:9. All right. So he says, Vahanavi ki yifte vadaber davar ani Adonai patati et hat navi hahu vanatiti et yadi alev vahi shamadeti mitok ami Yisrael. Which word in there is deceive?
Give me a second.
Are you looking it up on like Blue Letter Bible or something, or Bible Hub?
Yeah.
So you don't read Hebrew?
No, I use Bible Hub.
Okay. Okay, because I asked if you read Greek and Hebrew and you said you try to. So you don't read
Yeah,
it.
try to through Bible Hub.
That's not reading it. That's just looking up a word. So the word in Hebrew for deceived here is patah in Hebrew, and it means to deceive, to entice, to persuade. Okay, and so the scripture that I brought to you is Ezekiel 14:9, and here I'm gonna give you the context of the story. The Israelites, some of the Israelites, were going to the prophets of other gods to seek guidance, and also coming to the prophets of Yahweh to seek guidance as well. So they were double dipping. And Yahweh is talking to Ezekiel, and he says, the Israelites have allowed their idolatry to become a stumbling block. And he said they're going to the prophets of other gods, and they're coming to inquire of me too through my prophets. And he asked Ezekiel, should I allow them? Should I allow myself to be inquired by them too? And then he says, well, when they come and inquire of me, I'm going to answer them myself in a way that the idol gods would answer them. And then in verse 14, verse 9, he says, if a prophet is deceived so that he speaks a word, it is I, the Lord, who have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hand against him and eliminate him from among my people. So he's saying that he's going to intentionally, through his own prophet, deceive the Israelite who had been double dipping. And then he's going to kill the Israelite who had been double dipping and the prophet. So in this situation, we know that in Hebrew, patah means to deceive, to entice, to persuade. And so when this God says, if a prophet is deceived, then I, Yahweh, have done it, is it then that the word deceive there doesn't mean deceive? Because it's Yahweh?
Yeah, so there's a distinction between deceiving, which is necessarily lying, and persuading or enticing someone. I mean, that's to say that's like making up a definition for a word would kind of be a stretch if you were to do that. But yeah, there's a clear distinction between deceiving, which implies lying, versus enticing someone, or
Right, but the
yeah,
translation there is deceive, not entice.
it's not just definitively deceive. It's
It
like you said, persuade.
No, in this context, the translation here is deceived. Like I can read it from the NRSVUE, right, in Ezekiel 14, directly from the Bible. It says, if a prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I just read it to you from the Hebrew. This is the NRSVUE. If a prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet.
Right. So would you agree that deceiving necessarily like implies lying?
Not all the time. You can make a person believe something that is false, that's not true, without you being the liar. He did that in 1 Kings 22 when he sent a lying spirit into the prophets of Ahab. And he made Ahab's prophets lie to Ahab and tell Ahab that he was going to bless Ahab in the war, but he wanted to kill Ahab. So he colluded with the host of heaven and came up with the plan to send a lying spirit into the prophets of Ahab. Yahweh didn't tell the lie, but he deceived. He planned a deceptive plan. He acted deceptively. So he didn't necessarily lie, but he was a part of believing, causing Ahab to believe something that is true that is otherwise a lie.
Yeah, just don't think. I don't think that follows at all.
Why not?
Because you'd have to give me proof of it saying something along the lines of God lied, or God told
I
a
didn't
false
say
statement.
anything about your God lying. I said he is deceptive. I didn't say your God is a liar. I said he is the God of deception.
Yeah. So basically, I guess I won't use lie, but um, led him to something that is false. Would you say that's deceiving?
Yeah, I gave you 1 Kings 22, where your God had a meeting in his throne room. Right? Do you remember that? Have you read about that in 1 Kings 22?
Yeah, and you said he sent a lying spirit, but that's not him lying because he
I did
sent
not
it.
say
Or
he lied, Yahweh. Listen to. I never said your God lied. I said your God acted deceptively. He participated in coming up with the plan to deceive Ahab. Even though your God was not the one who told the lie, your God was a part of the plan for the lie. Your God commanded the lion spirit to go and be a lion spirit in the mouth of the people. When the spirit said, "I'll be a lion spirit," your God said, "Go and do it. You will succeed." And then he sent the lion spirit to make Ahab's prophets lie. So your God was a part of the deception. He acted in a deceiving manner in order to get his will done. He sent a liar.
yeah, well, like in a causal sense, God is like the reason for everything, right?
So
So
that means that he can be deceptive, is what you're saying.
no, it means he can hand someone over to a deceptive. He can hand someone over to a deceptive person, but that's
Where,
not
where,
like
where he didn't hand someone over to a deceptive person. This was your God's plan. He just sent a liar. Your God asked for ideas to deceive Ahab, to get Ahab to go up and fight at Ramoth Gilead so he could kill him. And the plan he chose was for the lying spirit to lie to Ahab. Like in the story, the spirit said, "I'll do this." He didn't like that.
all right.
"I'll do this." He didn't like that. The one he liked was the lion, the liar. And that's the one he agreed with.
Yeah. So do you want me to respond to that verse or the other one? Because
You can respond to both. They all have to do with deception.
yeah. So I don't think you can like definitively prove that the word "pata" means deceive, and because there's persuading and it's logic. It follows logically that you didn't necessarily have to lie or lead someone into a false belief.
Okay.
What?
So when he says, "I will answer," them myself in the same manner as the prophets of the other gods do. Are you saying that your God says, I'm going to persuade them to the truth the way the other gods do? Is that what you're saying he's saying here?
No, basically what he's saying is, like I said, he's handing someone over to deception.
No. You said patah doesn't mean deception, right? So when we read Ezekiel 14:9, and he says, but if a prophet, let's say he says that this is persuaded. If the prophet is persuaded so that he speaks a word, I, the Lord, have persuaded that prophet. Now, mind you, he's speaking through the prophet because he's upset that the Israelite is double dipping, going to the prophets of other gods plus coming to him. And this is a punishment. What is he persuading when he speaks through the mouth of the prophet? Now, mind you, he kills the prophet and he kills the inquirer. What is he persuading them to do? What was the prophet persuaded? What could they possibly have been persuaded to do that your God would use it as a punishment and then kill the prophet that he used?
Well, I mean, this is the Bible we're reading, so it doesn't specifically only, it's not only specific to the participants at the time.
What
I
are
mean,
you
we learn
even?
from,
No, I was talking about the context of this story. He says, I will answer them myself in the same manner as the idols, as the prophets of the idols. So are you saying that the prophets of the idols were speaking truth?
I understand. Okay, just to make sure I understand your question, you're saying that the persuasion. Why would he persuade if he's gonna kill him anyway? Right?
You're the one saying that. I'm not saying that.
You did
I
you
know. I
not
said
just
he
say that?
deceived them. He
Or
Yahweh
why is
kills.
he
Hold,
why
hold
is
on.
he
Hold on.
deceiving?
Because if you knew your God's law, he kills lying prophets. When a prophet lies, they die. They do not stay alive. That's his rule. That's his law. But what you are saying is that he's not saying deceive. He's saying persuaded. And so what I'm trying to understand it from your perspective, if I read the text using persuaded, right? And take the context that he's saying that he's going to answer the same way the prophets answer for their idol gods. And so are you saying that he's answering in truth here because the idol prophets answered in truth? Is that what you're
Because
saying?
the idol prophets answered in truth.
Yeah.
What does that
Okay.
mean?
He says, I will. This is going to be my fourth time saying this part. Have you read Ezekiel 14:9 ever?
I have.
Okay. Tell me what's happening in Ezekiel 14:9.
What?
Basically, God is passing judgment on Arab who was
No, you're
repeatedly
not even
worshiping.
here. This ain't got nothing. Ezekiel 14:9 don't have anything to do with no Arab or Ahab. You aren't paying attention, and I'm wasting my time. Ezekiel 14:9 don't have anything to do with Ahab or an Arab. You have not read this. Like you're just.
So it's the other verse. The
I
that
literally
verse.
said, "Have you read Ezekiel 14:9?" I mean Ezekiel 14. You said yes.
Yeah, this is why I like to address certain verses one at a time because
I
this is what it
asked,
leads
"Have
to.
you
It's
have
not that
you have you read Ezekiel
I just
14?"
confused which verse you were talking about. I've
How did you
still read
confuse
both
it
of
when
them
I said Ezekiel 14?
because we're talking about two different verses. You're trying to tie them together.
Okay, and the other verse don't have anything to do. Like the other verse is in First Kings. How did if I say the address to a house, right, and I talk about another house, are you gonna confuse the two because they were mentioned in the same conversation?
I'm going off the verse that you read,
I'm
which
sorry,
was the
I can't.
deceiving.
I can't.
No,
Go
yeah, and
ahead. I can't.
yeah, because no, you're not. Like she literally said, "Have you read Ezekiel 14?" And you said yes. And when she asked you to summarize what was happening, you started talking about something else. There's nothing wrong with saying, "I don't know. I'm not familiar with the story. Let me go read it and get back to you." but it's intellectually dishonest to claim now that she's conflating things when that's exactly what you're doing.
I mean, that's just an assumption. I don't know how you don't understand that I was just referring to her last verse. That's why I specifically asked, which one do you want me to address? So these things don't happen because
Did you hear her ask you about Ezekiel specifically? What were you referring to, or what were you responding to when you said yes? What did you think her question was?
uh is I think I stated it. It was, why would God pass judgment if he's going to kill them anyway? Which, like, why would he deceive if he's going to kill them anyway? It was pertaining to that verse.
That wasn't her question, though. So why are you talking about something she didn't ask you? She asked you very specifically, are you familiar with the story in Ezekiel? And then she asked you to summarize it after you confirmed that you were. And then you proceeded to not summarize the scripture in
Yeah,
Ezekiel.
because I thought she was still talking about First Kings. I just mixed up the books, like, because we were just talking about it, right? So this is why I asked, can we just stick to one? Because things like this happen. Because I
It's
just
so interesting how now y'all need to stick to one, but typically y'all would cherry pick this book and to put your message together, right? And it's crazy, right? Like, how dare I say, have you read Ezekiel 14? And it's my fault that you thought I was talking about First Kings. Like,
I
I
mean
mean,
to assume that
shame. Hold on, shame on me for saying Ezekiel 14 in my question. To be
I'm not
specific on,
saying shame on you.
hold on. I was specific about which story I was asking about. I was very specific. Can you summarize Ezekiel 14? Ezekiel 14.
You'll have to come off mute before that. Uh, fix yourself. All this. Say it with your chest. Be
I'm
awake if you're
sorry, what?
present. Yeah, quit sounding like a fucking dolt.
Adult? It's a new one.
See you.
Can you summarize Ezekiel 14, please?
Idol worshipping, false
No, no,
prophets.
no, no. Summarize the story, not just yell out words that you know that are in there.
Yeah, so basically Ezekiel is about prophets clinging to idols and rejecting truth.
No, no, it's not. Okay.
No.
No, you have not read it. You haven't read the story yet. You want to come up here and tell us what it is. Like
So there's no idol worshipping in Ezekiel
you
14.
oh my fucking god, and I can't, like, I need you to wake up. I can't talk to you like this. You're dragging every word. You're barely here. I don't want to repeat myself, and it's not my job to teach you your Bible. Okay, so you just have to come back another day.
That's fine. I'll take that as a concession.
It's not a debate. I told you that when you first came up here.
What?
Like, go on. It's crazy.
God
That's how I
bless
know.
you. Love you guys.
No, you don't. That's how you know that there's something wrong with their minds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all they hear is, I have to win, I have to win, I have to win, no matter how incoherent and illogical they sound.
And they don't know shit about the book. And like,
I
they don't even
Nothing.
care. They don't they don't care that there was no understanding reached. He says, I'll take that as a concession. Like, they don't care.
Mm-mm.
They just ugh. Ugh.
I hope that he either grows into somebody that can have an actual conversation because he clearly likes to show up for them, or he deep throats a live telephone wire today.
Good morning.
Like,
One of the two.
Malachi, how old are you?
22.
Are you a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist?
I'm a believer in the Bible.
Okay, Fee, you want to do this one?
Yeah. Malachi, before we get started with you picking a topic, can you tell me the last time you were wrong about something and changed your mind on your position on a thing?
I would believe probably like maybe last week in one of these debates, I didn't know something. I wasn't aware of something in the Bible, so I had to like change my opinion on it.
Okay. So this isn't a debate. This is just a discussion. And the
hmm
purpose of this discussion is so that you and I can understand how we think about these things. And if I disagree with something that you say, I'm going to tell you why. If you disagree with something that I say or think, then you can tell me why. Do you think that's fair?
That's fair.
All right. Go ahead and pick a topic and tell me what you think about it.
I was gonna the first one, the God of the Bible is a deceiver.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that one, our understanding and translation of things in the Bible is a little bit rough, and two, sometimes God, from my understanding of what that the Bible says, God has similar emotions to we as humans have. So a lot of the times, one second, please. A lot of the time that we understand something as being deceptive or whatever in the Bible, like if you read Romans, it does say that when you are clinging on to hard unbelief, God leaves you onto a reprobate mind. And like for example, the thing with Ahab that you brought up earlier, Ahab had already been given the truth by
Can hold on a second. I don't want you to kind of go back to previous conversations. Just hit the reset button and start new, like from your own perspective. Where because
Okay.
this conversation isn't about Ahab. This
All
conversation
right.
is about
So
whether or not
okay.
the
So let
God
me
in the
restart.
Bible is deceptive. Yeah.
I would say that viewing God as being deceptive when he leaves humans to when he tells people what they want to hear, I don't think that is him being deceptive. That's just him being frustrated and just saying, if you want believe what you want to believe. If you don't want to listen to my truth, all right, you can have falsity. That's just my point of view.
Where do you see that happening?
Let me pull up a verse. Romans 1:28. Furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, God gave them over to a depraved or reprobate mind to do what they ought not to be done. When you ignore the knowledge that God gives you consistently, He just decides to just leave you over to what you want to believe.
Okay, mute up. Yeah, your background is super loud. Okay. Th- Granted, I'll give you that. He leaves you to what you want to believe, but that doesn't address the fact that this God in this Bible tells you that he deceives. So for believers to come up on this platform and say, no, God doesn't do that. He just leaves you to, to do what you want to do. That's also not true. That may be true in that verse in Romans, but there are multiple situations in this Bible where this God does not leave people to do the things that he wants them to do. He moves them in the direction he wants them to go. And that still doesn't address the fact that this God admits to using deceptive spirits. He sent a lying spirit to a prophet. He admitted, confessed, if you will, if a prophet is deceived, I, the Lord, deceived him. That has nothing to do with the desire of the prophet to want to be deceived. He speaks about the fact that he did it. That's something that for some reason believers want to ignore when the God says that and focus on the, oh, you want to be led to or given over to your own desires. That's not what we're talking about. And those are two completely different situations.
Can you direct me to the verse where it says that He would give a prophet the bad, the bad prophecy?
Ezekiel 14:9 is what we were just reading. That's one. The lying spirits, I'd have to find that one. Is that one in King's Thinker? I can't remember.
Ezekiel 14:9. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I think I know mildly what you're talking about. I read the story before. It was quite interesting, but not the one in Ezekiel. That one I don't know, so I'm going to Google it. Give me a second. And if I, okay, so here it is. Ezekiel 14:9. Let's read the full chapter. Then a certain okay. Then a certain of the elders came and sat before me, and the word of the Lord, Son of man, these men have taken their idols to their heart, and set a stumbling block of iniquity before their faces. Iniquity is doing what is wrong when you know what is right, by the way. Should I indeed let myself be consulted by them? So basically, you go into somebody who's giving you bad
You
advice
know,
that I told you.
hold on a second, Malachi. We don't need commentary because we've read the scripture. There's never going to be a
Okay.
scenario. Yeah, hold on. There's never going to be a scenario where reading the whole chapter is going to be problematic for non-believers. We don't have a position to protect, so you can just read that. You read it if you like, but we don't need the commentary or the explanation.
All right. Well, if you guys are aware of the verse in the chapter, it's basically what Romans 9 is saying. These people, these prophets who know better, are going to false gods after God told them not to go. It's similar to the one within Kings with Ahab. You're going to go to somebody who I told you not to go to and get your advice from them. And then you're going to come to me. So I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear. If you want to hear this, sure, I'll tell you that. It's exactly what he did with Ahab. He told Ahab exactly what he wanted to hear, and Ahab knew this doesn't sound quite like what God normally says. So he called the prophet of the Lord, and the prophet of the Lord told him the truth. And then he sent the prophet of the Lord to prison.
Can you mute? That's not what that story states. And there's absolutely no way that you can justify getting context from Romans when we're reading Ezekiel. They weren't even written by the same people, nor were they written in the same timeline. So this
But
retroactive
the,
can you not do that? I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking. Please don't.
you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah. This retroactive harmonizing that you all are trying to do to make this book univocal just simply doesn't work because the scenario that that you just posited for this Ezekiel story is not accurate. This God said, if a prophet is deceived, I, the Lord, deceived him. He's the one that was the originator of the deceptive information. That has nothing to do, nor does it speak on the desire of the person who was deceived to do what they wanted to do. You're adding that. There's nothing in Ezekiel that points to the desire of the person that was deceived. You're adding that in order to preserve or protect the concept that your God does only one thing. And that's just simply not supported by this text in any way, if you read it honestly.
Well, I would say, well, if you don't mean to go to Romans, you can use historical context, the Ten Commandments, alongside of this. The mere fact that it says that they're doing iniquity in the verse is that iniquity is the doing of something wrong when you know what to do is right. So if you want to just use the chapter in of itself, it's right there.
Why don't you read it? You know what? As a matter of
It's in
fact,
front
never
of
mind.
me.
Nope,
It's
never
in
mind.
front of me,
I'll
actually.
read it. Yeah,
I'm
but
looking
you,
at it.
yeah, I know you did. You stopped though, and then started giving commentary on what you needed to mean in order to support the conclusion that you've already drawn. But it'll be easier if you just read
Verse
for.
7 is right there. Verse
Stop.
7
Yeah,
Stop
is.
can
interrupting her. Stop. She's talking.
yeah. Point to me where it speaks about the desire of the individual's heart to do what they want to do. I'll start at verse. I'll start at 1. Certain elders of Israel came to me and sat down before me, and the word of the Lord came to me. Mortal, these men have taken their idols into their hearts and placed their iniquity as a stumbling block before them. Shall I let myself be consulted by them? Therefore speak to them and say to them, Thus says the Lord God, any of those of the house of Israel who take their idols into their hearts and place their iniquity as a stumbling block before them, and yet come to the prophet, I, the Lord, will answer those. I, the Lord, will answer those who come with the multitude of their idols, in order that I may take hold of their hearts take hold of the hearts of the house of Israel, all of whom are estranged from me through their idols. Where is it speaking to what you were talking about in the verses that I read thus far?
Where the part where it says they set before themselves a stumbling block, right there. They put their choices. They themselves put the stumbling block of doing what they want to do, consulting other deities. That's them doing what they want to do. If God told you worship only me, and you go to worship somebody else, that's you doing your own thing. That's
Okay.
them doing them, not
All right.
doing what God told them to.
So, what was the purpose of God sending a deceptive spirit? What if that is the case and they wanted
Mhm.
to do this anyway, that is their desire. Why would your God need to step in and send something that pushed them further in the direction that they were already going?
Because God, if your iniquity is consistently doing what you want to do, no matter what God told you. So if you're doing that and then you come to me, you already know what I'm going to say. He did exactly what he did with Ahab only not too long before Ezekiel was written. He basically just tells them what they want to hear. The deceptive spirit. He's like, if you go, you're going to come to, you go to your idol, you go to your false prophet, and then you come to me. Why am I going to give you a perfect? Like you already know what you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you that.
Well,
My question.
Fee, this makes sense. Hold on, this makes sense because, like, kind of like when Destiny was on stage, and she kept saying that she was acting the way she was acting because she ain't perfect, and that they still sin, right? So if they are believers in Jesus, yet they still sin, then they would be doing what they want to do anyway and be in iniquity. Therefore, the God could be deceiving them, and they wouldn't know it.
So they could be moving on the deceptive spirit that their God sent them,
Yeah,
since that's what they want to do to begin with.
yeah, because they still sin even with Jesus.
But how is it that they look at this, like the position that he's taking right now? How is God still absolved? Because he's still, it's unnecessary ultimately.
Oh, I
The
don't think
God's
he's
action.
absolved. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that he's absolved. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I just got back from fixing my food. I didn't know that's what y'all was talking about. I'm sorry. I just
Oh
heard
no,
that
no,
last
you're
part.
good. Yeah, I get that point too. But he's trying to say that God's not being deceptive because they wanted to do whatever it is this lying spirit wanted them to do to begin with. And my question was, if that's the case, that's like me. You're rolling downhill, and I'm. Why would I need to push you? You're already moving in that direction. You're already doing the thing that you want to do. I don't need to intervene at all. That doesn't make it.
Yeah, no, he's still doing the thing. The God still made the decision to give them more of what they already got. And so, in order to give them more of what they're already doing, he had to become deceptive. So, he's still deceptive.
Can I speak? Can I say
Well, you're
something?
the one who
Or
went on mute because you had, I don't know, heaven
noise.
building in the background. Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, when I try to say that when it says the Jews at the time had a more close relationship than I would say even Christians do right now, considering that they had their prophets and things like that. Beyond that, they actually had the book of the law that they could go on, see exactly what the laws were. They knew what the truth was. It's like you doing something wrong. Okay, say your mother told you not to do something, right? You and your father and your mother had a conversation on what is allowed and what's not allowed in the house, right? If you go to your mother and your mother said, "No, you can't do this." Give me one sec. Oh my gosh! But every time I need to speak. Whatever. Give me a second.
Yeah, this food's so damn good. Yesterday when I was cooking,
Okay, I'm back.
I
I'm
was
back.
letting Five taste the chicken while I was frying it, right? And Five said, so yummy." He said, so yummy." This food is good. Go ahead, Malachi.
Okay, so your father and your mother have an agreement on what's allowed or not allowed in your house, right? You go to your mother and say, "Mom, can I do such and such?" And she says no, right? Your father's in the room or whatever. Later on in the day, you go to your dad. You know your dad already knows the answer, that the answer is going to be no. So you're like, "Dad, can I do blah, blah, blah?" He's like, "Oh, well, whatever." You're like, he is not giving you exact permission. He's giving you a foolish answer. A foolish answer, like you don't really answer a fool in full strength. You just answer a fool foolishly. You know what you're doing is wrong. You know what you're doing is wrong. Why are you coming to me looking for permission to do what you know is wrong? I'm just going to give you a stupid answer.
I've never done that to my children at all. I've never intentionally given my children bad advice, even no matter how many times they ask me to do shit. I don't know any good parent that would. Like,
Yeah,
never.
I would quite literally never do that. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like when y'all speak about and you go through the apologetics that you use for the behavior of this God, you abandon any and everything that makes sense. And I don't understand that. This God tells you in this story that if a prophet is deceived, it is I, the Lord, who deceived him. He doesn't then follow it up to say, because he was going to do this shit anyway, and I'm trying to teach him a lesson. You added that. And you added it because you need your God to be seen in a specific light. But if you read this text, there's nothing about what you just said found in this text. You're overlaying your understanding of it because you need to preserve your conclusion. And that is intellectually dishonest. This book says that your God has deceived the prophet who was deceived. You have determined what his motivations are for that without validating how you have access to your God's desire in any way. That's what makes these conversations frustrating. Because I don't know if you have children, but there's no way in the world that, and mind you, the scripture that we're reading, it led to the people being killed. Let's not forget that. So what you're basically saying is that, using your parental analogy, if your child is doing something and you know that, and because let's not forget, your God is omniscient. You know full well that whatever this child wants to do is going to lead to their death. And you just say, yep, go ahead and do what you want to do, because stupid questions get stupid answers. That doesn't make any sense.
Mind
Can I
you,
say something?
1 second. Mind you, the God isn't saying here through the prophet, do what you want to do. The God is intentionally speaking a prophecy that is a lie. So the same way he had the lion spirit speak a prophecy that was a lie to Ahab, saying, God said, go up and fight at Ramoth Gilead, and he will give you the victory. That is a bold-faced lie. And that's what your God is saying he will do here, that he will deceive the person asking for advice. So he's not just saying that he's going to say, do what you want to do anyway. That's not what he's saying. He's going to give a prophecy, a deceiving word, right? That's like a pastor, that prophesied like during Y2K. God said that the world was going to end and everybody need to get bottles of water. Everybody need to get stock up on water. That was a lie. He spoke a deceiving word in the name of your God. So your analogy of, yeah, just do what you want to do anyway doesn't work, because that's not what the
Can I?
God. Let me finish. Your analogy of just do what you want to do anyway does not work here, because that is not what your God is saying he will do. What he is saying is he will answer the inquirer himself through the prophet when the inquirer comes to his prophet to seek guidance from Yahweh. He will speak a deceiving word, right? And then he will kill the inquirer and the prophet. That's what he's saying here.
That is, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I can see it from, I can kind of see it from where you're coming from. Though, let me make some statements. First, the analogy I made with the parent is something that I'm from the Caribbean, right? And I've seen it in both adults and kids, where you ask a dumb
Hold on. Let me
question.
stop you right quick. When you say you can kind of see it where I'm coming from, I need you to address the text, because all I did was
All right.
hold on. All I did was recite the text. So if I'm reciting the text incorrectly, I would like for you to address that first before you start talking about the Caribbean.
All right. Let me collect my thoughts. When, if, okay, using Ezekiel, it says, you go to other idols first, and then you come to the prophet of the Lord. Let me pull up the verse first, so I don't get this wrong, so I can read it properly. I don't want to get it wrong.
Like I just read it, right? Like I just
Just
read
read it,
from,
but let me,
yeah.
I rather pull up the text in front of me. Mischaracterize what I'm saying. All right. Therefore say to the house of Israel, thus said the Lord, repent and turn away from your idols, and turn away for anyone in the house of Israel, or stranger who sojourns in Israel, who separates himself from me, bringing his idols to his heart. And I will set my face against him, and I will make him a son of byword, and cut him off from the midst. And if the prophet is deceived, and speaks a word, I the Lord have deceived the prophet, and I will stretch out my hand and destroy him from the midst of the people of
Wait, you
Israel.
didn't read verse 8. Why? You didn't read I
No,
will
I read
set
it. And
I
I,
was
I,
you.
I did.
Hold on.
I did.
I'm sorry. Verse 7, where he says that I will answer him myself. I didn't hear you
I
say.
read that. I read that.
For any of those of the house of Israel or the aliens who reside in Israel who separate themselves from me, taking their idols
Mm-hmm.
into their hearts and placing their iniquity as a stumbling block before them, and yet come to
Mm-hmm.
a prophet to inquire of me by him, I the Lord will answer them myself. Right?
Yes.
That's what it said.
And we see that
I did
verse
not
acted
hear
out in.
that, so I wanted to make sure because that's what's in
Okay, I
question,
read it.
right? Well, I didn't
Yes, I
hear
read
it.
it. I read
I
it.
didn't hear.
My
So
apologies. My
that whole
apologies.
part where he says,
Mm-hmm.
"I, the Lord, will answer them myself," and then I think
Mm-hmm.
up here in verse 4 is also important. He says, "Therefore, speak to them and say." Thus says the Lord God, any of those of the house of Israel who take their idols into their hearts and place their iniquity as a stumbling block before them, and yet come to the prophet, I, the Lord, will answer those who come with the multitude of their idols, in order that I may take hold of their hearts of the house of Israel, all of whom are estranged from me through their idols. So he's saying that in verse 4, he says he's going to answer them himself
Mm-hmm.
the same way, right? That their
Mm-hmm.
idols would answer them. And then he says the reason he's doing it is so that he can take the hearts of those who have gone and worshipped other idols, or not worshipped, but sought guidance from other idols. He can get them back. So he's going to use this one inquirer as an example. He says this one inquirer will be a proverb. I'm gonna make them an example, right? So he's not punishing every Israelite here who went and sought guidance from other idols. He's using one Israelite and one prophet as an example. That's what he's saying.
Think a good way to. We don't even have to debate whether or not it happened. We have a perfect example of it happening in Ahab. And
Well, we could
if
use
you,
Ezekiel. He did it to Ezekiel.
yeah, well, if he did it to Ezekiel, well, I'm not aware of that story, what he did with Ezekiel. I'm aware of the one with Ahab specifically, because that's the part of the Bible I'm most familiar with.
Well, in the same book in Ezekiel, he told
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel a prophecy for Nebuchadnezzar and the city-state Tyre. And then a couple of chapters later, he had to come back and tell Ezekiel that what he told him regarding Nebuchadnezzar did not come to pass. And so he had to move the prophecy to Egypt. So he gave
Which prophecy is
Ezekiel
that?
the one where he told Ezekiel to prophesy to the city state, to the king of Tyre, that Nebuchadnezzar would come in and destroy the city state Tyre and take all their wealth, their merchandise and their riches. And then in Ezekiel 29, he had to come back and say Nebuchadnezzar didn't get anything from Tyre, and that they labored, him and his army labored and was made bold and bare, but he can't pay them. And he said they labored for me, so I'm going to give them Egypt as their payment. So what he prophesied regarding Nebuchadnezzar in Ezekiel 26 through Ezekiel, he himself had to come back and say it did not happen.
I guess me and you read Ezekiel 20 and 29 differently,
I
but
said
that's
26 and 29, not 28 and
20.
29.
Okay, 26 and 29. Prophecy against the king of Tyre. All right, so I'll put it this well. If that's the case, I don't interpret 26 and 29 to be conflicting, but I'll
Well,
leave.
let's read it.
All right.
Okay, so Ezekiel 26 is where the prophecy happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starts at verse 11. Actually, verse 7. I'm sorry. It starts at verse 7. So, for those of you that are in the chat that want to follow along, is Ezekiel chapter 26, starting at verse 7. For thus says the Lord God, I will bring against Tyre from the north King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, King of kings, together with horses, chariots, cavalry, and a great and powerful army. Okay, so the mind you, and the because we had this conversation last week with somebody, mind you, the God tells Ezekiel earlier on that he's going to bring many nations against Tyre. But what he's prophesying about what Nebuchadnezzar will do to Tyre, it starts at verse 7. So he says, your daughter towns inland, he shall put to the sword. He shall set up a siege wall against you, cast up a ramp against you, and raise a roof of shields against you. He shall direct the shock of his battering rams against your walls, and break down your towers with his axes. His horses shall be so many that their dust shall cover you. At the noise of cavalry, wheels, and chariots, your very walls shall shake when he enters your gates, like those entering a breached city. With the hoofs of his horses he shall trample all your streets. He shall put your people to the sword, and your strong pillars shall fall to the ground. They will take your riches and plunder your merchandise. They shall break down your walls and destroy your fine houses. Your stones and timber and soil they shall cast into the water. I will silence the music of your songs. The sound of your lyres shall be heard no more. I will make you a bare rock. You shall be a place for spreading nets. You shall never again be rebuilt, for I, the Lord, have spoken, says the Lord God. Okay, so that is the prophecy concerning what Nebuchadnezzar will do to the city-state Tyre.
Can I
Okay,
say something here?
sure, go ahead.
Historically, he did destroy mainland. He did destroy mainland Tyre. He got. That's why. He did
Yeah,
do that.
okay.
That's
Can
why
you show me the historical information for that?
Okay, a siege of Tyre, 856 BC to 573 BC. The siege of Tyre, assumed to have been a 13-year
Did
war.
he destroy it? Did he
He
destroy?
destroyed man. Yes, he did.
No,
Because
he
he
no
had
he
to.
didn't. He did not.
He,
No, he did not. Alexander the Great, 200 years later, destroyed and conquered Tyre.
he had.
Hey, hold on. Alexander
Mhm.
the Great, 200 years later, destroyed and conquered Tyre. Nebuchadnezzar fought against Tyre for 13 years. And
And what happened
hold
to the
on,
main
will you
city?
stop? I'm telling you, Nebuchadnezzar, when he fought against Tyre for 13 years, Tyre
Hmm.
fought back. By the time Nebuchadnezzar got into the city gates, Tyre had moved all their wealth. They had moved all their people. Nebuchadnezzar didn't get anything. And then he did not destroy Tyre. Tyre was still an island when after Nebuchadnezzar gave up fighting after 13 years. It was Alexander the Great who came in and destroyed Tyre 200 years later.
Question. For the prophecy of Tyre, what part of the prophecy did not come to pass?
Yeah, I was getting ready to go to the next scripture. The prophecy, again, as I stated, when Nebuchadnezzar finally got into the gates of Tyre, Tyre had already moved all of their wealth using their fleet of ships. Tyre was known for, they had the ship market and trade sold up. Like they were the main guys on the block, and everybody wanted their territory, right? And so for 13 years, Tyre held Nebuchadnezzar off. They fought. So they spent a lot of their money fighting off Nebuchadnezzar, and then they used their ships to move their wealth somewhere else. By the time Nebuchadnezzar got in there was no wealth for Nebuchadnezzar to take. That is historical. Even Nebuchadnezzar talks about it in his own chronicles. But so does your God in Ezekiel 29. So like if we go to Ezekiel 29, he says, I think it starts at verse 8. No, hold on. Hold on. Let me go to my notes here. 29:17. Ezekiel 29 started at verse 17. He says, in the 27th year and the first month, on the first day of the month, the word of the Lord came to me. Mortal King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon made his army labor hard against Tyre. Every head was made bald, and every shoulder was rubbed bare. Yet neither he nor his army got anything from Tyre to pay for the labor that he expended against it. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, I will give the land of Egypt to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, and he shall carry off its wealth, and despoil it, and plunder it, and it shall be the wages for his army. I have given him the land of Egypt as his payment, for which he labored, because they worked for me, thus says the Lord.
Years of conflict to take over a small city with a massive army, you're not going to pay them from that. So
What?
I do not see the
No,
inability
can
to
you
pay
repeat
all
what
your
you said? I
soldiers.
didn't hear what you said. Well, that's a
I do not.
Yahweh problem. Yahweh didn't have enough money to pay in the first place. We're
I
not,
don't
hold
see.
on, hold on, hold on. We aren't talking
Mhm,
about how your God decided to pay Nebuchadnezzar. We're talking
mhm.
about, can you go on mute while I speak? And then, because your background. Thank you. We're not talking about the fact that your God made a decision to hire Nebuchadnezzar to take out Tyre and pay him with Tyre's wealth. That was a decision Yahweh made. If you think it's a stupid decision, you got to take that up with Yahweh. Okay. What we're talking about is the fact that he did. The fact that in his prophecy, he says that Nebuchadnezzar will take the wealth of Tyre and take their merchandise. But when Nebuchadnezzar got there, there was nothing for him to take. So he says, I can't pay Nebuchadnezzar because there was no wealth in Tyre for him to take. So instead, I'm going to give him Egypt as his payment. And just to let you know, Tyre again was very wealthy. They had the game sold up. Everybody had to trade through Tyre. They ran the trade routes. They were the what do you call them on the streets? Like man, the dude that owns the block.
The kingpin.
Yeah, they were the kingpin, right? Like you had to trade them. Everybody wanted Tyre's territory. Nebuchadnezzar and Alexander the Great end up getting it.
I would say that I think one, we're straying a little bit off the original topic, but two, I would
No, we're
say
not.
that.
We're talking about
All right,
deception. No, we're
all right,
not. We're not off the
all right, then,
original
all right.
topic. We're
Then
talking
let's
about.
continue.
Hold
Then let me
on,
continue.
Malachi. When
Then.
I talk, you don't. We're not off the original topic. This is about your God speaking a word through a prophet that did not come to pass. That was not true.
In this case, I would say that, especially in this scenario for me, I see that the mainland Tyre was destroyed, and second, all that happened was the wealth and so on that Nebuchadnezzar got from Tyre and Sidon was not to scale of what would be able to pay his entire troop. So God gave them a better reward in
It doesn't
Egypt.
say that. It
It
doesn't.
said
It doesn't say that. Your God says here, "I will take. They will take your riches." They didn't take any riches. They will and plunder your merchandise. They didn't do that either. Because when Nebuchadnezzar got there was no riches, no merchandise for them to take. And that is historical. And then your God says, I can't pay Nebuchadnezzar because he worked for me against Tyre. He got there and yet neither he nor his army got anything from Tyre to pay for the labor that they had expended against it. So I'm going to pay him with Egypt. And Nebuchadnezzar never conquered Egypt either. Nebuchadnezzar doesn't conquer Egypt. And the same scripture, your God says that he will make Egypt bare for 40 years. No human, no animal will walk across it for 40 years. It will be desolate. That has never happened in history either.
what? The Tyre and Sidon were desolate?
No, Egypt, in this same scripture here, when he's talking
Mm-hmm.
about how Nebuchadnezzar didn't get anything, he says, I will make, actually, I think it's in Ezekiel 26. Hold on. No, wait. Is it verse 8? I mean, verse 8 of verse 20 of Ezekiel 29. He says, therefore, thus says the Lord God, I will bring a sword upon you and will cut you from human and animal, and the land of Egypt shall be a desolation and a waste. Because you said the Nile is mine and I made it, therefore I am against you and against your channels, and I will make the land of Egypt an utter waste and desolation from Migdol to Syene, as far as the border of Cush. No human foot shall pass through it, and no animal foot shall pass through it. It shall be Uninhabited 40 years. That has never happened. When I'm talking, can you mute because the chat can hear whatever you got going on? Thank you. Like, what are you doing? Like, first it was outside construction. Now you playing a video game? Are you playing video
It low
games?
key sound like
Oh,
Flappy Bird.
I'm typing. I'm typing on my computer. I'm
What's the
thinking.
coin noise?
I'm not. I have background noise, sure, but I'm not playing the game right
So he says here in Ezekiel 29, verses 8 through 12, that he's going to make Egypt a desolate land where no human foot, no animal will walk across it for 40 years. It will be uninhabitable. Egypt, in the entire history of Egypt, it has never gone desolate for 40 years where no human or no animal has been able to live on that land.
So you are saying that the entire prophecy was a lie,
No, this
and
is just another prophecy. This is a different
so you're
prophecy.
saying
It's the
so you're
same.
saying
It's in the
that
same chapter, but he's given a different prophecy for Egypt now. And then after he gives this prophecy of 40 years uninhabitable, he tells Ezekiel Nebuchadnezzar couldn't get anything from Tyre, so I'm just gonna give him Egypt since I got like this issue with Egypt now.
yeah,
I think this is a classic case of what the text says and what your system of belief requires.
not
Because your
really.
system, well, I've been listening to you and thinking go back and forth about these prophecies, and the text says a thing. It says that Nebuchadnezzar will do a thing to Tyre, and he does not do that. But your system of belief requires that this thing happens. So you're at a crossroads where you can't deny what the book says, but history doesn't support that the book is true. So that's exactly what this is. Your system of belief requires that your God is always right and that these prophecies come true. This book just doesn't substantiate that.
But and then here's another time where the God is admitting that what he told Ezekiel did not happen. Like he's literally saying I was wrong, right? But they refuse to accept that.
The way I see it, what happened to Tyre happened. 13 years of war. Tyler got forced into become an island nation for Alexander the Great had to take the ruins of old Tyre to get to the new Tyre. That in and of itself does show that mainland Tyre, where most of the trade and so on happened, was destroyed. Tyre was
What
forced
was
to
your
become
God's
an,
prophecy? Because you are just making up an
my
entire.
God's prophecy.
What
My
was the
God's
prophecy in
prophecy
Ezekiel
was
26?
you would seize the wealth and destroy. You would seize the wealth
No, at the
and
very end.
destroy.
Hold on. At the very end, after the season,
Mhm.
he says, "I'm so sorry. I do not want to swallow in y'all's ear." At the very end, he says, I will make you a bare rock. You shall be a place for spreading nets. You shall never again be rebuilt. So for you to say that Alexander the Great had to go through old Tyre to get to new Tyre, that even that in your mind goes against the prophecy that he said, because he said when Nebuchadnezzar get through with you, you will be bare and you will never get rebuilt. You're saying they did.
So you're saying that the city of Tyre still exists, is what I'm understanding.
This is what the prophecy of what Nebuchadnezzar would do. Nebuchadnezzar didn't do it. Alexander the Great did.
So because okay, so you're telling me that, but no, I'll say this: both of us have
we both have our point of views, and I don't think that I can change yours. I
I'm
can see
not
where
giving
you're
a point
coming
of view.
from.
The point of view that I'm giving is the Bible. I'm not making it.
Okay.
You haven't heard me say I think this and this will I'm just reading the Bible. You are disagreeing with the Bible.
I'm not disagreeing with the Bible. We're viewing the Bible from different lenses. In my point of view, Tyre was destroyed. The city of Tyre was destroyed. It was leveled
Yeah. Okay.
to the
So
point where there was nothing but rubble and timber for it to be, you
okay.
know,
All right.
rubble and timber was the only things that could be used to get to the island.
Uh
In
huh.
your point of view, the nation of Tyre did not cease to exist, which is correct. The nation of Tyre did not
That
cease
is
to
not what he
exist.
said. He said
However,
that is not what he said. He said Nebuchadnezzar would destroy Tyre and Tyre would not be rebuilt.
and
Nebuchadnezzar
that is true.
Nebuchadnezzar did not destroy Tyre. As a matter of
Tyre,
fact, when Nebuchadnezzar finally reached the city gates of Tyre, the gate was still intact. Nebuchadnezzar did not destroy Tyre. I mean, when Alexander got there, the gate was still intact. Nebuchadnezzar did not destroy Tyre. That's not true.
The difference.
If Nebuchadnezzar did not destroy Tyre, why are the citizens of Tyre still on their island and not on the mainland?
The fact that you are
Why
saying that,
What?
like, I don't
I'm
know.
asking you guys that, using you guys' logic. If Tyre was, rebuilt and everything like that, why did Alexander find ruins?
Because they did fight for 13 years, but he did not destroy Tyre. He didn't get any wealth, and he did not destroy Tyre.
So he did not destroy
Also, that
Tyre,
was
but we met.
200 years later. Of course, there's going to be ruins. What?
Exactly.
Why? Okay, so thriving coastal city, as you guys said, right? Thriving coastal city, as you guys said, was not destroyed, but but ruins were found.
Look, it
When
said
you go to the Colosseum, is that not ruins? Like, are you okay?
It says the 13-year siege of Tyre by Nebuchadnezzar ended with the city still intact and under the rule of the Tyrian king. Just as the Assyrian kings had done prior, Nebuchadnezzar conquered all the mainland territory of Tyre, including its fortified towns Ushi and Akko. Nebuchadnezzar II cut off water and supplies to the mainland cities without succeeding due to Tyre's fleets being too powerful. King Ithabaal III of Tyre submitted to Nebuchadnezzar, who replaced him as king with Baal II. However, the inland fortress was not breached and stayed that way until Alexander the Great more than 200 years later. Nebuchadnezzar did not destroy Tyre, and they did not get any wealth from Tyre.
All right, so you're saying that the ruins of Tyre were still active, is what I'm understanding, and they retreated to their island for no reason, is what I'm understanding.
I just read to you the historical account. Nebuchadnezzar did
I'm
not destroy
I'm
Tyre. What is it that you are trying to manipulate into right now? Because
I'm not
I
trying to.
just the
I'm not.
prophecy said
I'm.
the prophecy is straightforward. The prophecy says they will take your wealth, they will take your riches. I will
Mhm.
make you a bare rock. You shall be a place for spreading nets. You shall never be rebuilt again. That did not happen under Nebuchadnezzar, as your God said. That's straightforward. And then even your God comes in and says to Ezekiel, Nebuchadnezzar didn't get anything from Tyre. I can't pay him, so I'm going to give him Egypt as his payment. Then he says Egypt will be bare 40 years and no one will be able to live in it, not a human, not an animal. And even that did not happen. But y'all have more of an issue with your God being wrong with his prophecies or your God being deceptive than he does himself. Like y'all, to the point to where y'all reject him even saying, I deceived, or him saying, I'm sending lying spirits. Right? Your God literally chose deceivers as his chosen. Abraham was a deceiver. Isaac was a deceiver. Jacob was a deceiver. All three of them were deceivers, and he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He didn't have a problem with them dealing deceptively. In fact, in the case of Abraham and Isaac, when they were pimping out their wives in exchange for wealth and saying that they were scared, although they had a powerful God who had whipped ass for them before, but somehow they were still scared. He was going to kill the people that they deceived just for being deceived. But he protected his chosen in their deception. That's why I say he is the God of deception, because he will engage in the practice of deception for his own sake, and he will protect his chosen and their deception because they are his chosen.
So you're saying God is the deceiver for God never okay, so say God is the God of deceit, God is deception. God never told Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob to deceive.
I
And
didn't
each of
say
them,
he did. I said he protected them in their deception, even going as far as threatening to kill the people that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob deceived.
so okay. So you're saying he's the God of deceivers for protecting Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even though they deceived. That's what you're saying, correct?
If yes, that's what I'm saying. But your God, what mattered to your God more in those situations was his chosen, not the people who were innocent or acting in integrity. He was going to kill them, but he protected. He showed up for those that are his chosen in their deception. He doesn't punish them for dealing deceptively. Even while they're in their deception, they're told to pray for those with integrity, pray for those who are innocent, so that he don't kill them, so that he forgives them. Now, one time does he tell Abraham, that was wrong what you did, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have lied to Pharaoh, you shouldn't have lied to Abimelech?
I haven't read that he punished Abraham.
I say he did not.
You're correct in that he didn't punish Abraham.
Or Isaac or Jacob when they were in their deception. But he was going to kill the Abimelech. He whooped the shit out of Pharaoh and his people until they gave Sarah back. And they did the same thing with Rebecca.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I remember. I've read those stories.
Yeah. What mattered to
That doesn't
him,
mean he condoned it, though.
did he, okay, what is the definition of condone?
You know what is crazy? If y'all like to say that God regulated but didn't condone, that may be true for somebody that's not omnipotent. For me, if I have to regulate the distribution of food, I may not necessarily condone that some people don't get as much as everybody else, but I have limitations that I have to work around. Your God does not. I think it's safe to say that anything that he regulates, he condones, because he has an option. He has an option to make it another way. And Thinker didn't say he did it. She said that he acted within the parameters of knowing that deception was there. Like, y'all constantly move this goalpost.
I'm not trying to move the goalpost. I apologize if you feel that way. So,
If you feel that way, or if that's what you've been doing.
I'm not moving the goalpost. I haven't changed my position. How do I move the goalpost?
She just demonstrated that.
Because
Just told you how.
you're
Because I
you're
say
But
you're
instead
that.
of listening,
arguing
you said, I apologize that you feel that way.
you're arguing that I said your God condoned, that your God condoned or did or told them to deceive. I'm not arguing that. Your God protected the deceivers. And
Okay.
he threatened to kill those who acted in integrity because he prioritized his chosen and his will over integrity and innocence.
So he, you gave the okay. So you are saying that he condoned the deception because he didn't condemn Abraham, and he didn't condemn Abraham because he had a further purpose with Abraham
How
to do.
many times did Abraham and Isaac do this?
Abraham did it I think Abraham did it twice, and Isaac did it once with
Okay,
Abimelech.
so if there is a habit of a behavior and you never
Hmm.
condemn it, are you condoning it?
I would no.
Let's look up the
If
definition. Let's look up the definition of
okay,
condone, Malachi.
all right, no
All right.
problem. In the
Hold
meantime,
on,
though, I will
Malachi.
say
Malachi, the definition of condone is to accept and allow behavior that is considered morally wrong or offensive to continue. Did he allow or accept their behavior?
it's okay. In the lens
Can
of
you answer my question?
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
Yes and no are very short words.
I would say, considering that we have the Ten Commandments and he made it clear that lying is a
No,
sin.
no. Did he allow Abraham and Isaac's behavior to continue? Did he condemn it or did he allow it to continue?
For the sake of this conversation,
Why,
yes,
for
he
the
allowed
sake
it
of
to
this
continue.
conversation? No,
Because we have the laws, we have the
no,
Ten
we're not
Commandments
talking
now.
about the laws. We're talking about no. This is what Fee means when she say you constantly move the goalpost.
I just agreed with you and said that yes,
No, you're saying for
using
the sake of this conversation. This conversation has nothing to do with it. We are talking about what he did in the text. And the answer is when Abraham did it in Egypt, he showed up. And he defended Abraham and he got Sarah back and he punished the Pharaoh for Abraham's deception. Then Abraham did it again to the Abimelech. He showed up. He threatened to kill the Abimelech. He made the Abimelech sick. He struck every woman in the kingdom with barrenness until the Abimelech gave Sarah back. And in both instances, Abraham received wealth, land, gold, and silver. Then Isaac did it with Rebekah. And he showed up and he did the same thing. Not one time does he condemn them for this behavior. Not one time does he say, you know I am with you. You know that you have talked to me, that I have given you prophecies. You know that I have your back. Why did you deal deceptively? Not one time. But he shows up to the Abimelech and says, I'm going to kill you if you don't give Sarah back to Abraham. And the Abimelech says, wait, I acted in integrity. I acted in innocent. I'm innocent. And your God says, yep, I know you did this in the integrity of your heart. I know that you are innocent, but I'm going to kill your ass if you don't give Sarah back. He condemns the innocent one, the one who acted in integrity. He does not condemn Abraham for acting in deception.
that's correct. You're not wrong. That is correct.
So how are you still concluding that this God is not a God that is deceptive?
When I look at what you guys have shown me, I see a few things when it comes to God being deceptive. The thing first with the whole thing with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that God did not. God made it clear to us as humans that lying and all those stuff are sins. First of all.
I do not know why it is not recorded in the Bible that God did not punish Abraham, but I can assume that it may be just for the fact that he just trying to keep a covenant with Abraham and be like, I got your back. I cannot justify that.
Like, no one
I
is
do not.
asking you to justify
Can I
it. Like,
finish?
this, no, no,
Let me.
no, no, because this personal closet conversation, this is between you and your God. We aren't asking you to justify it. All
You
we're
asked
doing,
me.
no, all we're doing is asking you to acknowledge that he dealt in deception. The reason that you apply to it, the justification that you apply to it, that is personal. But that, if you want to talk yourself into staying with a man who cheats, that's on you, sis. Like, you do that, right? They ain't got nothing to do with us. The fact is that we have identified that your man cheats. Whether
But
you stay with a cheater, that is your decision. We're not asking to be invited to that conversation. We didn't ask you that.
I hear you. I got you. But you have okay. Your question was, do I see God as a deceiver? And my
No,
answer to you is,
no.
in the Bible, does the Bible say that God is a deceiver?
Did he
And what I,
deal deceptively?
from what I can see, you're gonna flip out and be like, "Are you blind? Are you stupid?" But no, everything you guys have shown me today, down to him telling, I always when I see you guys saying, "Oh, God is a deceiver," I just have to look at Ahab. I have to look at the. Okay, we have to keep in the New Testament. We have to keep in the Old Testament. We can't go to the New Testament. From what I've seen, when you guys say God is deceptive, consistently, when it's God speaking directly, or even if he's using a spirit, it is God giving a human being and telling them what they want to hear. That's what you see in the Bible. He will tell a human being, especially if the truth is available, what they want to hear.
Okay,
That's what
like
I
he's doing to
understand.
you right now.
What do you mean?
He's
Explain
telling you
yourself.
what you want to hear right now. Your God gives you the understanding of the interpretation of Scripture through the Holy Spirit, correct?
Yes.
And he's right now giving you that interpretation, correct?
Should agree.
Yeah, he's telling you what you want to hear right now.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Why? Because it's
To
you.
self because when you have
No, no, no. Wait.
you
Is it
can
because
okay,
it's
so
you? Is it because it's you that
no.
hold on. Is it because it's you that you wouldn't say that?
I wouldn't say for me what I'm gonna well, okay, what are you asking me?
I'm you're saying that the God told human
Hmm.
beings what they wanted to hear. That's what you're saying.
Especially
And therefore,
when the
hold on, let me
truth is
finish.
available.
Let me finish. Exactly.
Hmm.
You're saying that the God is just told human beings what they wanted to hear.
Hmm.
You cut me off and now I can't even remember the last thing you said because I was going to quote you verbatim. Therefore, it's not deception, right? It's not him acting in deception because he just told them what they wanted to hear. And in your heart, Malachi, you believe that this God is good. You believe that this God won't lie or can't lie. You believe that this God is not a deceiver and you have a relationship with this God. Therefore, the God is telling you what you want to hear, despite the fact that in this book, this God has dealt deceptively with lying spirits. This God has admitted that he will deceive to teach a lesson. This God has protected his chosen in their deception and has been willing to punish or kill people who act in integrity, who are victims of his chosen deceivers. You have chosen, right, to ignore that truth, that fact, despite the fact that in Ezekiel, your God prophesies to Ezekiel that he will make Egypt a bare land where no human, no animal can live in for 40 years. And we know historically that has never happened. in Ezekiel, your God has also told Ezekiel that Nebuchadnezzar would destroy the city-state Tyre to where it could not be rebuilt, and that Nebuchadnezzar and his army would haul off with their wealth and merchandise. And the God even tells in Ezekiel that did not happen. So he's going to give him Egypt. Despite all of that, you still say it's not deception because the God just told humans what they want to hear. And that's what is happening to you right now.
If you want to say that, then sure. But personally, to me, not even personally, from what I can see, from what I've seen, one, everything that happened in the Old Testament was for the purpose of Jesus Christ being born. Whether or not God decided to thoroughly punish Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the starting part of the Israelite nation, he has his reasons for that.
I mean, again, you're going into your personal closet conversation.
That's not my personal
That is
conversation.
Malachi. You sent Malachi. No, because I don't want to be involved in you and your sugar daddy's conversation. I don't like that. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. What we are talking about is calling a spade. Malachi. What we are talking about is calling a spade a spade.
Yes.
Whether you see Malachi, stop talking while I'm talking. Whether you see that spade on a Valentine's card or as a sign of a warning, that is a personal conversation. I'm not asking you that.
Every time I try to dissect what you say, you cut me off.
Because you are going into your family personal business, and I'm not asking you that.
But that's not
Malachi, I don't want to know. I don't want to know how you justify the deception. I just want to know how you don't see. Malachi, stop. I want to know how it's not defined as deception, not the justification. How does it not fit the definition of deception? So you need to be talking to me on a textual base, an academic base, not your personal justification for it.
Okay, all right. It is not deception. God, okay, if you get a textbook that gives you the explanation of something, you have the answer in front of you. You've been explained the answer, and then you ask it again, and they give you a foolish answer when they've already given you the truth. How is that deception?
What is a foolish answer? Is it the truth or is it false? Is it false?
A foolish answer is a foolish answer.
No, is it did he make them believe? Did the teacher make them believe something that wasn't true?
Not if they gave them the truth.
Well, then we're not talking about deception.
Then exactly.
Yeah, that's not what he did. We literally, when he sends a lying spirit, that's not giving him the truth. When stop. When he tells Ezekiel Nebuchadnezzar will destroy Tyre and take its wealth, and that doesn't happen, that's not truth. When he says Egypt will be bare 40 years where no human, no animal will inhabit it, that's not truth.
The amount of things in history that have been told to be false because we did not have access to information that have then been proven true does not give credence to your argument to say that because we do not know that happened, it did not happen.
We know that Egypt has never been bare for 40 years where no human or no animal has ever inhabited.
In the same way that humanity did not believe that Troy existed.
I don't care. We know for a fact that Egypt has never been bare. We know that. Egypt has always been occupied.
Right? We are arguing history now. History that gets edited every day, almost.
Okay, stop.
No.
There's no point in you introducing fucking hypotheticals when we know archaeologically that Egypt has never been bare. Now you're going into fucking Saturday morning, Honey Nut Cheerios, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm that turtle. I'm the pink turtle. Like, that's what you're going into right now. And I don't want to do that. That's childish. Just because you can't deal with the fact that your God acts in deception. It is what it is. It's the definition of it. I don't even know why you tripping. You gonna marry him anyway. You know damn well you are. You gonna be one of the brides. One of the bridegrooms. You gonna marry his ass anyway. That's why I said the personal conversation that you use to justify why he's still a good man, Savannah, that is between you and your God. What we're talking about is defining a thing.
And what you're demonstrating is conclusion guided comprehension. You are holding on to this conclusion, so you're trying to figure out how you can look at these texts or comprehend these words in a way that preserves that conclusion. But in doing so, like Bash said in the comments, you have to tear up reality. Egypt has very accurate records. And there has never been a moment in time where, for a 40-year time span, nothing or no one lived there. It just hasn't been. But because that reality conflicts with the conclusion that you're trying to protect, now deception doesn't mean deception. Now God didn't cause it. God didn't tell them to do it. They wanted to do it anyway. That is dishonest.
Your dedication to whatever perception you have of your God is causing you to move into the realm of deception. And I don't know if you notice it or if you're doing it on purpose.
I mean, there are certain markers that you can look for to determine whether, kind of like some self checks that you can use to see if the text is guiding your comprehension or if your already held belief is guiding your comprehension. If you have to shift standards or if you have to change the meaning of words, if you minimize evidence that doesn't confirm what you believe, like you're saying, oh, well, yeah, God said that it's I, the prophet, who deceived him. But what he really meant by that is X, Y, and Z. You are the one that's doing the heavy lifting. You're going so far as to change what your God confessed to doing and telling him, no, he didn't. He didn't do that. That's not what he meant. You become your God's God in that respect. And then at the same time, deny that you're doing the very thing that you're doing. When your comprehension is guided by the text, you can be surprised. Oh, I didn't realize that was the case.
I,
But then when you are surprised, you don't go back and reinterpret it.
Somebody in the comments said, could it be said the opposite way? What the fuck do y'all think these conversations are for? If y'all are able to show us that deception means something other than what it means, and tie it back to that, then yes, it could go the opposite way, but y'all don't do that.
They want to just be right. Like even the person who got the main live taken down, saying if it wasn't for the Bible, y'all wouldn't know right from wrong. You have the Bible and you don't know right from wrong based on how you behaved on Thinker's other panel.
Wait, am I confused? Isn't that why they get their ass whooped by this God? Because they do know right from wrong? Because Eve ate
Yeah,
from the tree?
apparently,
I
exactly.
mean,
So
your
we
God,
don't know the very.
right? You don't know right from wrong. Your God didn't even want you to know that. That's why you get your ass whooped by your God. Are you still there, Malachi?
I'm still here. I just wanted to say that I enjoyed the discussion. I did get some insights that I hadn't known about before, and I'll do some more research on it.
I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing what you come back with. Just make sure when you come back, whatever secret closet pillow talk, I don't want to. I don't want to be invited in that. Okay.
No problem. I'll work on that so we can have a proper discussion next time.
All right.
And
Thank.
Malachi,
Good
just
stuff. Good
yeah.
stuff.
And I would say this before you drop, just like walk us through the logic. Like whenever we say something, we're going to walk you through why we believe it. We're going to show you the evidence for it. We're going to show you the reason. We'll go to the source language. Like we will read the entire chapter. We're just
Mhm.
asking that y'all do the same thing.
Oh, I got that from you guys, and that's why I enjoyed the discussion, because usually it's just, no evidence, just yelling and screaming. So this was very nice. I enjoy
Awesome.
these discussions because it also helps me understand what I believe in.
That's the whole goal. Thank you so much, Malachi.
Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Amazing, bro. Tell you what, my boy did a 180 on the mute. Appreciate
On
you.
the what?
On the mute. He said, you know what? Let me take a beat.
Y'all, the guest box is open. If you are a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist, 21 and up. It's crazy how they be hanging on to like whatever image. Like it's insane. Like they won't even take his word for it. He like I lied. They like no you didn't. Like
That's not what he meant.
yeah you didn't
Which is
lie God.
crazy,
That's not
right?
it.
Because then that means he did lie. Because he lied about saying that he lied. Like, either it's a catch 22. Either the motherfucker is or he is.
Y'all remember in Mama Bash Live when the Christian lawyer was like, I plead the fifth. Like, friend, what? You're not even on trial. God is. Like, you are the
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yep. And it's interesting how many don't know that the reason that they know right from wrong or can contemplate right from wrong is because Eve ate from the tree. It according to their worldview. And that's what I was trying to ask the other guy earlier when he was like, the deception is good if it's for the greater good. Remember when he said that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking him the questions, and I was leading him to the greater good because I asked him. I said, are you able to determine right from wrong?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Is that a good thing?" He said, "No." I said, "Is that a great thing?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And Eve ate from the tree in the garden, and because Eve ate from the tree in the garden, you now know the difference between right and wrong. You can decide right and wrong. You can reason with people, and so the deception there was for the greater good. Of course, he didn't understand that because he thought that knowing the knowledge of good and evil is the ability to do, and that's how we got into whether or not Adam could get frustrated if he tripped over a fucking animal in the fucking garden. Oh, he also said they didn't shit.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, he said they did not shit. So I asked him if they had an intestinal system. And I said they were eating vegetables, they were eating greens. And are you telling me that their body did not extract the nutrients and then discard the waste? And he said they didn't have to.
How did he determine that?
Because it was a different world. He said he literally said it's a different world from where they come from. Yeah, it was a different world then.
Yeah,
They didn't have intestines.
well, I mean, in their spiritual world, I guess that's possible. But again, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stretch my brain to, like, make that make sense for him, but I can't do it.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, what do
It
they
would just
think?
raise,
Oh, go ahead, Pam.
no, I was just going to say, it would raise so many more questions for me.
Like, what do they think happened? Okay, so they didn't have intestines. They obviously didn't have pain receptors. They don't believe they had pain receptors. They believe that Eve got pain during childbirth after the punishment. Like, did he make them new bodies? Like, did they go through like this, like a whole morphine, and then shit just started popping out like Stretch Man on Flash? Like, what the fuck do they think happened to these two humans in this story that then allowed them to start creating humans that do shit? This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's where faith lets you leapfrog right over methodology. that oh, it's faith, I just believe it. Like, so you don't know how, like, how, what in the Attack on Titan is going on? Like, they are running around with no genitals, no functioning bodies, no, like, no thoughts,
No
no
belly button.
concept, no belly button, no concept of what's right or wrong. Like, how would that even function? But faith doesn't need you to know how. That it doesn't need you to understand how a thing functions or works, or the operationalizing of any of this stuff. It doesn't care.
And then
It
like,
just lets
oh, go ahead, see, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, it just lets you determine and decide and declare that you're right.
And then like if Eve didn't start having children until after the punishment, did she have breasts? Or like if she did have breasts, did she have nipples? Because there was no point in her to be making breast milk. Like what type of bodies do they think they had? Like did Eve's body look just like Adam's at first, and then she just started growing breasts when the childbirth thing came? Like what? I don't understand. They were Barbies. Maybe they were plastics. Plastic can't die.
That's what I was thinking, Barbie. I mean, the story is fictional anyway. Like, there's nothing about the story that makes any fucking sense. So the details don't matter.
I think they think that they were created without the ability to excrete things out of their body.
Yeah, they do think that. That's what he said. But like when we bring up these logical questions, especially like dealing with our human bodies because we are mortal, they say, "I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there." Like as if that's not even more insane of an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they've allowed this book to stop them from thinking, like, and they have no fucking shame, none. I feel sorry for whatever man get Destiny's ass, because I know they got their handful. Not only does she have a mouth on her, but she is stupid as fuck.
Oh, she is extremely stupid. And I don't like to call people stupid, but like she is on a level of lack of intelligence that is kind of scary. Like some of the things that she's saying, like you can tell she doesn't think, and she doesn't surround herself with people that push against the shit that she says. You can tell that by the way she's typing in the comments. I mean, and by the way she was behaving on your stage earlier too.
Yeah, yeah. Like I bet he want to pull his hair out every goddamn day. I would say, or maybe she, but her ass is too homophobic for that. So you know she messing with a man, and like he got his men already don't like loud ass women. Um, they are intimidated by intelligent women, but they can't, like they're very complicated people because they can't stand stupid motherfuckers either. So like I don't know. There was one guy who was on our stage. He was dating this Christian, and he had started listening to the live, so he started asking her questions. He came back. He said, "I was just like, ugh." He's like, and I'm a Christian. He said the way she was answering the question. He said, "I was just like, ugh." He said he broke up
Yeah.
with her. He was like, ugh.
Like, and I think that's why we were. Oh, you go ahead, Oso.
Maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you starting to sound like Malachi.
Yeehaw. I was just gonna say, if you know me, you know there's one thing I absolutely can't stand, and it's stupidity. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, me too. Especially willful stupidity. Like a person can be ignorant of something and be willing to learn. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't know everything. There's a lot of stuff that I still want to learn, and have to learn. But when a person is confident in their ignorance and they spread their stupidity, I can't. I don't have the patience for that shit at all. Yeah, willfully stupid is the worst kind of stupid to be.
Yo, what's up? Have you guys heard about Web3?
I don't even know what you just said.
Web3. WEB3.
Are you up here to engage in the conversation?
No, I'm just spreading the news. It's the gospel.
Do you want to respond to one of the prompts on the board?
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on a second. How old are you for TikTok purposes?
41.
And are you a believer? I'm assuming you are, based on how you're conversing.
How I'm conversing.
You're what?
Uh, not really, not a believer. I haven't seen God or
Are you a believer in the God of the Christian Bible?
um, maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have belief or not.
I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah,
He's
because what
trolling.
the
I don't have the
hell?
patience for this shit.
It's interesting that when you put out a topic about this God, this is the type of these are the type of bites you get.
Beautiful divergence. I think they're up here on accident. King Cola, are you in the box on purpose or on accident? Nikia, whatever the fuck your name is, I have no idea why you are in my box. You called me a bitch. The fact that you keep coming in this motherfucker is just weird as shit to me.
Who is that?
Some motherfucker here, Hebrew Israelite. His name's Nikia, like Nickelodeon. I don't know. But I don't know why you keep coming in here.
Nickelodeon.
Y'all are, like, I don't know, obsessed like a motherfucker. Yeah, a whole ass crash out. Like, they just weird as fuck. Like, I don't even know why they keep coming in here. I know they're like a bunch of kids playing dress up, running around the house talking about, I got my super power is I can fly. And they got their mama's fucking apron around their goddamn neck, flying around the living room going, zoom, zoom. That's what they make me think of.
That's what they doing. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what they do with their God every single day. Like they've got to, in their minds, they have to see their God working because they can't see him working outside of their minds. And they come into these conversations mistaking certainty for intelligence and sounding insane every step of the way.
One thing that made my heart feel so good is there was this post where this young lady she did a video about how women, Christian women are misogynistic. And she was like, and I'm the same way. She's like, I'm a Christian, I'm the same way. But there was so many black women in the comments talking about how they're just now starting their deconstruction journey and how scared they are.
Really?
Yes. I was like, God damn.
I hope they come in here and listen to these conversations.
And then there was this other young black lady. She wrote, she was the worship leader at her church, and she's newly deconstructing. She turned one of her worship songs into this beautiful song. And in her caption, she said that she played that song while she was in the hospital, begging God to let her 19-week baby not be born early. But that did not happen. So she, rather than, just do away with the song, and that's not why she's deconstructing, but she said that this is one of her favorite songs. So she turned the song into a deconstructing song, y'all. I'm sitting there listening. Like, before I even read her caption, I'm listening to the song and I'm smiling so big because the song is so fucking beautiful. And she turned it from her, seeing the God to her seeing herself.
Oh, wow. I want to see
Yes.
that.
Yeah. And it made me think of Thank You to Me.
Mm-hmm.
So I commented and I asked her. I said I wrote a song called "Thank You to Me." I would love to hear you sing it, and I gotta see how to get the song to her. But she said yes, and then when she responded, she was like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "This is such an honor coming from you. My husband and I love your work." And I'm like, "God damn!" Like I've never seen you
Awesome.
in the live, but the fact that that y'all are listening and seeing more and more people in our community deconstruct, and they may be deconstructing silently, and then
Hmm.
to see all of those people on that one post talk about entering their deconstruction journey and how nervous they are doing it, and then people saying, "Hey, there's so many communities on TikTok that you can join. You don't got to do it by yourself." I'm like, God damn, yes.
Yeah, because I really do think like that baby formula experiment, the fact that there's a lot more light being shown on abusive children, not only because of the files, but because of people are finally realizing that I don't have to suffer in silence. I think the reality of this belief system is being put to the forefront now. And what I think is going to happen is you'll see a schism, like they call it a great falling away or whatever the stupid ass book says. But what you're going to see is people whose character aligns with goodness and decency are not
Yeah.
going to be able to stay tethered to this. They're just not.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think most people that end up deconstructing are typically good, decent, moral people anyway. And they find
Yep.
out that what they thought they needed to be decent, moral people, it ain't this. And so
Hmm.
they end up deconstructing. Destiny, don't forget you told us that your prayers don't fucking work because you are still a fucking sinner. There's no need
Yeah.
for you praying for anybody's kids because you can't even pray for your motherfucking self.
And
Your,
it'll
your
be people
prayers
like
don't work.
at all. And it'll be people like her that will stick with the religion because her goal is to be right to at anybody's expense. She can insult people with intellectual disabilities. She can insult members of the LGBTQIA community. She can insult us as fellow black women because her character is marred. She is not a good person at her core. So of course she's going to hold on to something that allows her to continue being a horrible human being while thinking herself superior. So it's going to create massive divisions. You'll probably see, and I've seen like the people who are musicians that are Christian musicians who are getting fed up with this nonsense. They're kind of creating, oh no, Jesus didn't want that. This is what he wanted. So they're creating more denominations while still holding on to the book. But those who are honest with themselves and not trying to hold on to the conclusion that they have been indoctrinated with, they can't hold on to this belief system. It's too fractured and disgusting.
I don't know who the hell I just accidentally invited up here. I hate when TikTok move the thing when you're trying to accept somebody.
I've definitely done that a time or two. It's like TikTok waits for you to press the button and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah. Fila Pickin?
Yes,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I am an atheist, um, over 30 years old, and I had told you I was making an art piece, and I just want to let you know that I tagged you in it on my account. So if you want to check it out, let me know what you think. I used one of your TikTok posts as the voice over for the art piece.
Holy shit. Oh my
What?
gosh. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh my fucking gosh.
I can't talk much about it on TikTok, but if you're interested in it, all it needs is just a tip, and I'll send it to you to whatever part of the world you're in. You just gotta DM me or something like that.
Oh my fucking gosh. Yo.
It looks like you too.
Yes. Y'all, it's fucking raised. Like, and Q9, 9Q9. I'm always gonna say your name wrong, 9Q9, not you. But I still gotta get, I was thinking about that yesterday. I still gotta get the UPS close to me for him. But I will get this done today.
Is it
goodness.
in Discord?
It's not. Let
What
me put it
is
in
it?
Discord.
Go
Y'all.
to yeah, yeah. You can go to his page
And
real
I
quick.
and I can
It
make
does look dope.
that multiple times. I can change the face to a man, whatever the case might be. So if anyone wants to support,
Oh, you can do. You say you can change it to. You can do it for other people too.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a like a website, or like how would they order from you?
Yes, I stopped doing my business account on this account because Christians went to one of my old accounts and they were just leaving nasty comments, and so I had to rebrand my business, change the whole name and all that good stuff. So
Oh
I
wow.
try not to share it here, but I can, if you DM me, actually I have DM'd you my website.
Oh,
You
you
just
have?
haven't looked at it yet. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so. And if not, I would do it again.
It's probably in the because TikTok separates the messages. Let me go ahead and follow you. That way, when you do message me, it'll come to my inbox. Because I don't accept messages from just anybody because I get death threats and shit. So
Got you,
yeah.
got you.
So I did just follow you, and then your messages should show up now.
Okay.
Yeah. But that is
I'm glad
so
you like it.
yes. I'm in love with it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still got to figure out what I want to do with the framing part of it. But from what you see so far, even you can go in and add more colors if you choose, or leave it the way it is.
Oh, I'm just gonna
You
leave it
know,
the way it is. I don't even want to
That is
I
mess
was
with
thinking about
absolutely
it.
beautiful.
I was actually thinking about adding like a red lipstick to the lips part,
Ooh.
but then I was like, too
That'll be the only
much.
time in my life. Well, Christina put red lipstick on me, but like that, I wouldn't even love that because I never wore red lipstick in my life because of my brown skin,
Oh,
and I never thought that, that it would look good on me until Christina did it. Um,
so what's your favorite lipstick color?
I'm my lip gloss be popping. I only do lip gloss.
Right,
I
right,
don't
right.
wear makeup
Okay,
like
okay.
that. Yeah,
Got you, got you,
cause I don't
got you.
know how. But yeah, if you put some red lipstick on there, that I would fucking love it. I think that
Okay,
would be cute.
I'll see. I have to see if the red lipstick will work, and if it does, then I'll add it. But if not, if it doesn't work, then I won't add it.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure. DM me, please. I'll drop down. I'm almost at work, so you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you
Oh,
so much. I appreciate
shit.
you. That is such a beautiful gift. I am smiling from ear to ear. You and
Hey,
Q9Q Q9
K9Q.
is it K9Q? I keep saying his name wrong. Um yes, like thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much.
all right, all right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you're welcome.
Bye.
That is so awesome.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Like the hair being books.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness, I love it.
You should
And
have
then
made the hair bears.
and then the earrings being the onks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. The guest box is open. If you are a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructing, or an atheist, y'all, this looked like a good. Why won't it let me repost it? Something went wrong with the server. Were you able to repost it also?
I could. I would post it.
I definitely didn't think about it.
It
He did
won't
tag me in it, so I'll be able to find it.
let me repost it. But YouTube, I'm gonna post it into the YouTube chat so y'all can see it. What was I getting ready to say? I don't know. I don't forgot. Haters gonna hate. Yahweh's always late. Your prayers don't make you wait. Oh, who got blocked?
Who got blocked?
I don't know. It just said somebody. It didn't even say a name. It just something blocked. Did y'all block
Who?
Destiny?
Now, I hope TikTok did it automatically because she is really dumb. Like even the statements that she's
The
making right now
bot
about
blocked
Craig.
her. So
The
so
bot did?
TikTok is blocking people now. So TikTok
Hold
blocks people
on.
now.
Who said that?
Somebody said the bot. Oh no, she's still here. She's still here. Who got blocked?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I was gonna say, damn, TikTok done move the fuck up or something. Um, when I go to YouTube and I type in "thank you," the first thing that comes up is this. Hey, Destiny, this song for you. Because he's mine, he's mine, he's mine, he's mine. You never change my mind because he's mine, he's mine. Who cares? He didn't part the sea. Or if he condoned slavery, he still gets glory from me. You know it, even when the truth feels heavy, too heavy. I don't really care what's true. Now that's why I don't listen to you. Nope. Eternal life's the dream I choose. Yeah. Cause facts just not so good news. Oh yeah, I know he's divine. He's divine. All it is that'll blow your mind. Blow your mind. Atheists be hating up on. They mad. I don't worry cause I know I got him. I know you say he lies. It's okay, that's fine. That's fine. I never change my mind because he's mine. He's mine. He's mine. He's mine. You'll never change my mind. He said love everybody then drown them violently. Oh Lord, atheists think that's insane, but I still praise his name. I call it mercy when he kills a town. Mercy. To me that's love, just upside down. What? If he smites me, it's my test. If he bless me, I'm just blessed. Double standards, I confess. That's how I call abuse righteousness. Hallelujah. Don't need proof, yeah, don't need sense. Nah, blind face my confidence. That's right. He's jealous, petty, but I call that love. I'm reassured, man. He ghosted me and Christ is still our defense. Cause leaving that faith, that's the ultimate sin. Oh yeah. You say I'm brainwashed, I call it grace. Cognitive dissonance with a smiling face. Jeez. You say logic, I say prayer. He's mine forever, though he's never there. He's mine. No, Destiny, that's not me. It's one of my favorite songs, though. YouTube, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This is YouTube. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This is from my me and Bash's podcast, which we need to get back to since he's off the road, since he's not on tour right now.
Did y'all get out of Genesis?
No. No. Did we start Exodus? I can't remember. Did we start Exodus?
I don't think so. I think we were like midway through Genesis. I could be wrong.
I know we were at the end of Genesis. Are you ready to get back into it since you're not touring right now? After March, okay. Wait, we can start back after March. Is what you're saying? Those of you in the chat, that link, that page is Bash and our podcast page. So go ahead and follow that. Why it don't show up over here? Can y'all see the link in the chat? Can y'all see the link in the chat? Y'all don't see? Are links hidden? Yeah.
I think they are auto blocked. You gotta put a space between the dot and com.
Between the .com. Let's
Yeah,
see.
bring it up so it's not a hyperlink. I think it like auto blocks hyperlink.
Okay, let's see if that works. Can y'all see it now? Okay, so y'all. No, I'm trying to show them the. What did I just send them? Nope, I sent y'all the wrong fucking link. I'm sending y'all the link to YouTube. I'm trying to send y'all the link to his thing. That was stupid. That was stupid. Wait, what? Hold on. I was doing the wrong thing. Hold on. I was trying to send y'all. Wait, y'all. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to put a space in between TikTok.com. So, okay, let's see. Is it showing up? What the fuck? I'm posting on the thing from. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I just commented. Hey, that's Verses and Vibes. That's Bash and I's podcast, YouTube. But I'm trying to put the link to Fila's page there. Oh, did it just show up? No. Maybe, okay, let me take off. Listen, y'all. Just add TikTok.com at the front. That's the address. It won't let me do it. I don't know, y'all. Thank you, Brian. I don't know why I can't. I can't post links in my own chat. That's crazy. But thank you, Brian. Brian just put the link in there. I don't know what's going on, but Brian did it. Thank you, Brian. But yeah, if those of you over there on YouTube, if y'all could follow that page that I just commented hey from, that is Bash and I's podcast, and we're reading the Bible chapter by chapter and discussing it with a bunch of skepticism and jokes. We had a lot of fun doing Genesis. There were times where we laughed the majority of the show. And we had to stop so that he could go on tour because he is a Grammy award winning artist. So he just said we can get back to it after March. So yeah. All right, y'all. Anybody else gonna come up here and talk to us? If you are a believer in the God of the Bible, deconstructed, or an atheist, y'all, 21 and up. Thank y'all so much for following. I appreciate y'all. Don't get quiet now, y'all. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. What's good to watch on TV now? Anybody know?
That's live at 9 o'clock in the morning on the Eastern Standard Time.
What?
I got nothing.
That's live 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time.
I swear, like sometimes I think that also is still a little bit Christian.
That was very Christian like.
Yeah. Like for no reason. Yep. I agree. I agree. Cause that was just random as hell.
You said the time, and I thought about like the talk show guy, and then the spirit of a talk show guy inhabited me. I don't know.
Not Pisces saying I thought that was a belief. I told you, like you still got some leftovers. Not everybody thinking that he really was a Christian up on stage trolling though.
I will not be ashamed from being myself.
You shouldn't be. That's okay. How did I at this point I'd rather have McCoy on stage than also right now like like
Really saying
man yesterday when he said I was in the kitchen cooking dinner and my phone was in the room when he said I'm a public figure Boy, I was in the kitchen cracking up. Like I was so mad that I didn't have my phone with me. But he said I'm a public figure. I said, what?
That man is special. And
Yeah.
not like in the, rare good way. Just in he needs adult supervision as well.
Like, do y'all think he's serious?
It's gotta be a bit. It has to be. I cannot imagine that somebody functions in society who thinks and acts and speaks the way that he does. I can't imagine. What space would allow for that doesn't give out jello at 11:30? You get what I'm saying? You can't function like that in corporate America.
I don't know. Like, he might legit be in a hospital because I have no idea. I was thinking to myself yesterday, like, dude, got to be trolling, cause, and then the way he was playing around when Bash was telling him to go to Leviticus 27, he was trying to act like Leviticus ended at 26.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's why I think it's a bit. Like, I do think there are some believers that come up here, hear what we say about this God. Oh my God didn't do slavery, and then like their brain kind of goes haywire or whatever. They can't process the information. McCoy has been around way too long to not know what these conversations are. I think it's a bit. I think he needs friends, and that's just what's happening.
yeah.
You guys know about like flanderization?
Who? Well, you're underwater, also.
Oh shit, yeah, I'm moving. But have you guys heard of flanderization?
Mm-mm, I haven't. What's that?
It's like the idea, like it happens with like I guess like the prime cases, Ned Flanders and Simpsons. But like a person or a character becomes one note specifically, like they lose all the roundness of their character just to become the one thing that they're like known for. And I feel like that happens all the time with the people that we talk to, because we
Mm.
mostly get returning characters. And at this point, like Trading with John is basically just the same four lines over and over. McCoy is just this like really feeding into this like egotistical maniac when he used to pretend to be someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like they all come up pretending to be these characters, but after a while they drop all the other parts that make them, I don't know, a human, and just lean into the thing that they demonstrate when they're on stage. And it's like I don't know if they notice it, but like it's very noticeable.
I hadn't heard it called that before, but it makes sense. Like you perform this one perspective of personality so long that it encompasses everything that you do. You can't deviate from it. I absolutely can see that because they regurgitate the same responses that are incoherent and illogical to begin with, and when pushed to the point that they don't have an apologetic for, then they just devolve into the shit that McCoy was doing yesterday.
That's what's her name did when she first came on stage, just pretending to be nice. And like she loved it when I said to Selena, "Hey, let's not cut them off. I don't want to cut them off. Um, if we don't agree with them, let's let them finish." Blah blah blah. She was like, "Oh, that was so nice of you, host." Then she said, "Why can't?" She kept trying to call me kind, and I was like, "I'm not kind. Like I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you right now that I'm not kind." But she kept trying to force it. You are kind. Why don't you just take the compliment? And next thing you know, I'm all kind of slurs.
Yeah, because she wanted to control how you responded to her compliment. That's all this belief system is. It gives them the right to feel in control of not only what they do, but how you receive it. So even though you told her repeatedly, I'm not saying this to Selena because I'm being nice to you. These are the rules of the space and they apply to everybody. That wasn't about kindness. That was actually about equity. But they lack nuance so much in every aspect of their lives that they can't engage in those types of conversations.
Like that guy that joined Mama Bash's live yesterday. He couldn't when we were talking about the Delilah thing. Were you there?
I don't remember the Delilah one. I think I was that was before I joined.
It was so funny because they were all there, scared to come on stage, and I said, I said their egos got them scared, and that something like I'm a little woman or whatever. And of course, the moment that I pull on their egos, they start requesting. So he requests he come up, and I tell him that I manipulated him to come on stage, and he's crashing out, and I said, he was like, "You're a liar." I said, "How am I lying? I'm telling you to your face that I manipulated you. I'm telling you to your face that I influenced you." Yeah, the bucket guy. To come on stage. I'm not hiding it from you. I said, just like Delilah. Delilah told Samson to his face, tell me where you get your strength from so that I can have you bound. But he couldn't understand that I'm saying like people be telling y'all the truth, but because you only believe what you have told yourself, you ignore the truth that people be telling you. Like I told you to your face that I manipulated you to come on stage, but you want to tell yourself that I lied to you. The same way Samson, the story is that Delilah betrayed Samson. She tricked Samson. And then a guy came up and he was calling her a whore. And I was like, can you show me in the text where it says that Delilah was a whore and that he said she used her pussy. I said, can you show me where it says that in the text? But they want to stick to what they have been taught orally or what they have convinced themselves of instead of dealing with the fact that Delilah told Samson the truth 4 times. She never lied. The same way I never lied to that guest yesterday, and I told that guest I'm manipulating you.
Did he crash out? Or did
Oh
he
hell yeah, yeah. He kept crashing out because he didn't want to believe that what I was saying, that I was manipulating him. He didn't want to believe that.
Even when you can walk him through, like you could say to him, I've been having these conversations for 3 years. The through line in terms of believer behavior, specifically men, is that they don't like to be told what they can and cannot do. They don't like to be challenged. And every time a challenge is issued where their masculinity or their manhood is being challenged, they respond to that. So you could have walked him through how you manipulated him and the psychology behind why it worked. But because it flies in the face of what he wants to be true, he rejects it. That's the same thing they do in this book with this God.
Yeah, that's what I did. I told him that. I said I knew exactly what to say to y'all. I said y'all been in this line since before I even got here. I knew exactly what to say to y'all to get y'all on stage. And then he said, "Can you spell manipulate? Go, can you do that for me?" He tried to say that I didn't even know how to spell manipulate, let alone able to manipulate him. Like he didn't want to believe that. It's not like I think he was embarrassed that I'm admitting that I manipulated him into doing something, and he was embarrassed because ain't no woman gonna make me do nothing. That's what I think his denial was about. And then the other guy came up. He wanted to make sure that he held, all the control. He came up on stage and basically said, "Women are hoes. They ain't good for nothing. They're stupid. They make illogical decisions, and men should rule them." He just like that.
That was his whole point.
Yep.
And they want to know why we don't want any parts to do with this religion. Like the fuck?
And then he said the Bible backs him up. He said every decision women have made has been illogical and stupid and has messed society up.
Do they ever speak on the fact that Adam bore some responsibility to tell Eve no?
No, I even brought that up. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
They don't ever want to address the fact that Adam sat there, didn't say anything, and then did what he was told.
I had a guy that my dad was real good friends with. He was an elder in the congregation. And I will never forget this because I remember being really confused as to why he said it. He said that Eve tricked Adam and told him that it didn't tell him that where the fruit came from. Like as though she went and had this conversation with the serpent, made the decision to eat, and then gave Adam some without telling him what it was. That's why Eve is considered as the reason for the fall of man, and Adam's not blamed. Like I don't know where the fuck he got that from. The old switcheroo. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, like they come up with whatever they need to in order to preserve what they want to be true.
Notice that they will make up shit for stuff like that, but everything else they gotta say, "I don't know where it came from." I wasn't there. Logical shit is, I don't know. Illogical shit when it comes to them and their fucking masculinity. Their imagination go far. I'm sorry, Panther Black, are you trying to come up here, or was that it was somebody in the request named Calm Comedy. That's what I was trying to bring up, but it switched to you after I hit accept. That's what I said to him yesterday, Brian, when he was like, "Can you spell manipulate?" I said, "Man, you late," and that pissed him off even more. That pissed him off. She could be begging for the rest of her Holy Ghost filled life until Jesus bust over through the skies, because she ain't never coming back on my stage under that account. She gonna have to fucking trick my ass and come on a backup. And the moment I realize it's her, I'm dropping her motherfucking ass. She gonna be dropped just like holy rollers. She will never get back up on this stage. Zuri, are you in the request on purpose or on accident? Exactly. Deceive me like Yahweh. That's what she gonna have to do for the greater good of her God. All right, y'all. It is 8:17 Central, 9:17 Eastern, and 6:17 Western, and then it is some hour of the day and some minutes of the day in whatever part of the town, the world that you are in. We've been without a guest now for probably about 15 minutes, so I'll give it another 15 minutes to see if we can get a conversation going. It's been one eventful ass night. What y'all do for Valentine's Day?
Got elevated
It'll
in the
be
juke
you.
joint.
Nice. That's. I just went to work.
What'd you say you do? You did, Fee?
Got elevated in the juke joint. Me and Justin are finishing up Better Call Saul. We watched Breaking Bad last year, and then we're watching Better Call Saul. We're in the 6th season of that. So we just chilled and ordered some Chinese food and relaxed.
Is that good?
I think it's good. I like it because there's so many, like, I don't like, I'm not a big TV person anyway, because I feel like stuff is just too overt. Like, it doesn't engage my mind. But I like this one because there are so many like scenarios. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. And every single time I've tried to predict what's going to happen, I've been surprised. So that's the reason I like the writers of this series, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah. The character development is amazing.
Okay, I've seen it on the Netflix recommendation for so long, but I never watched it. So I'm gonna take a look and see what it's talking about. Vita, I saw your message asking if I saw your suggestion of TV shows, but I didn't see it. Ray's World, are you in the box on purpose or on accident? Can you comment for me? I love My Name Is Earl. I have not seen Weak Hero because it's about a kid getting bullied again. That it's Korean dramas. When it comes to bullying, y'all, it make me so mad. Their bullying is like, ooh, my child couldn't go to a school in Korea and get bullied because I'd be in jail. Yeah, I'd be in
Oh, it's
jail.
that bad?
Smiling in the
Yes,
mugshot.
yes.
Smiling in the mugshot.
Yeah, it is bad. And the crazy thing about it is that they depict it in the series accurately, so because they're raising awareness for how bad bullying is in the schools there. So it ain't an over exaggeration. That's the crazy thing. Keith Jasper. Keith, did you come up on accident? Okay. But yeah. I can't watch the bullying ones in Korea. My family was asking me yesterday if I looked at through the Epstein files. I was like, I can't. It's it's gonna give me so much anger that I ain't gonna know what to do with it.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I mean, just yeah, that shit is crazy. And the fact that like the world is low key just moving on. Like we're finding more and more shit, but ain't nobody getting more and more prosecuted for this shit.
No, not here. In other countries, they are. Like, they're ousting people left and right
Yeah.
in other countries. It's this fucked up country that's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, one of the senators got on TV and said, "Who gonna prosecute him? It's like, well, who gonna bring them to justice?" Like he said that this is a waste of taxpayer money. Like it's like they know they're too big, too powerful to even be brought to justice.
Do you think that this belief system is a reason for a lot of the apathy around these files?
You said this religion.
Hmm.
I think people are. I don't think I don't think they know that the religion has anything to do with the pedophilia. But I think what I think is they're so used to their God not doing anything about big shit that they don't know what to do or say about it, other than their usual praying. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think the fact that they continue to rely on this God that hasn't helped a soul, like not one, in this world, is the reason they sit back and do nothing. They're looking at these events as a sign of the last days, or the sign of the end coming, and the people in power doing this shit is relying on that. So I don't know that they know that they're directly contributing to folks who have done unspeakable things to children not being held accountable for those things. But they also think that their apathy and their inaction gains them favor with this God. So it's almost like this system has been set up for them to continue to perpetuate these atrocious things to children and marginalized people. They don't care. And by the more they don't care, the more they are revered by this God. And that shit is what makes me feel nauseous on a daily basis.
Absolutely. It's it's a sad thing. Somebody asked me about the statue of Baal that was burned in Tehran, and I researched it. It it was an act of protest by some protesters during the Islamic Republic parade, and yeah, in Tehran, they had a picture of Donald Trump on the. They had multiple statues. They had a picture of Donald Trump on one, the Star of David on another, and then they had caskets there draped in American flags. And they were posing pictures by the caskets draped in American flags with some of our generals' names on them. And they were posting pictures and they burnt the statues that had Donald Trump's face on it and the Star of David on it as a message to America and Israel. That's what the burning of the Baal statue was about.
It does feel like so overwhelmingly helpless and hopeless in a lot of ways. I feel helpless, and the situation feels hopeless. But then I have to remind myself that there's got to be, like, if this world were inhabited by people who wanted those things to happen, I think it would look very different. But it's hard. It's so hard to remain optimistic when people come in here and say the things that they do and make the excuses that they make for this God. Because if they can do it on the highest level with an entity that they believe is perfect. If you can excuse away atrocious things for a perfect being, you can look the other way when imperfect people do atrocious things too.
Absolutely. It's like they're being trained for that.
Yep.
The same mind that says deception doesn't mean deception in this instance is the same mind that could say pedophilia isn't pedophilia in this instance. Like they literally have convinced themselves that Mary being forced to carry a child without, asking her consent, um, being, forced to marry a man in his 60s at the age of 14 is not pedophilia. So they can look at, you know, uh, a grown ass man marrying a 16, 17-year old and not see it as pedophilia. Yep. It's sad. And every time I see a believer talking about the Baal statue, they never, like, they literally think that they're burning the Baal statue because they're burning a statue to their God. They think that the Muslims are burning that statue because they're saying that's their God. They're literally burning the statue saying that that is the God of Christians, and they're saying that that's the God of Christian and Jewish people. They think it's they think that that's some type of worship to Satan. Like, they don't get it. Missing the whole fucking message. Exactly. Like, the fact that that's what they think.
Thinker, I don't know if you see this or not, but Destiny is saying that she intentionally got your live taken down because she doesn't miss. Do you want her
Oh,
to say anything?
no, yeah, she can say it. I don't care. Um, I mean, if she did, well, first off, she can't. The live was taken down for slurs and hate speech, on my end, and again, I'm pretty sure it's because I told her she wanted to be a man. But so she's lying there. And then the second thing, Destiny know her God don't stop no show. As Destiny can see, there's still 500 people that was in here, over 600 earlier, and including her ass. So to be bragging about taking some shit down and then you come to the backup is just dumb as fuck.
Yeah, she's doing a whole lot of work for a God that's got a lot of power. That's weird.
Right. But she don't miss. She missed third grade English.
You right about that, Selena.
Yeah, Destiny is obsessed with me. I guarantee you, after I played He's Mine, Destiny went to go find the rest of my songs because she's, I don't know, hating right now. She's trying to figure out why the fuck my music sound better than hers. She went to go do some more research on my ass, and then she brought her ass back. Destiny gonna go and study my ass after this live is over. She can't pull herself away right now, but the moment this live ends, she gonna go and study my ass. Destiny gonna be with me all fucking day. I'm sure you
Yeah,
do,
you
Po
won't let her
Destiny.
leave.
I'm sure you do, sweet there, Destiny.
She says she served. That's because I think she knows her God can't. Like they kill me. They kill me talking about the power of a God that can't do anything outside of them. Can't do anything in the real world. Anything that happens in the real world, they have to help him. They have to facilitate it. And even with that, she didn't facilitate this. It's just there's something wrong with that mindset to believe that you are representing the most powerful thing in the universe, and you have to do so with bad grammar and incorrect punctuation and spelling, and look the way that you do in a space of people that don't want you here because you don't know how to think. Like, your ignorance speaks so much louder than you realize, and you're proud of that. That's weird.
She said, I'll probably have a hit before you. I hope it ain't a hit in the fucking mouth with. Like, I really do hope it's a hit with a song. Like, I do. I'd rather you get that type of hit than the one that you probably motherfucking deserve. But, like, I don't want you to get hurt and hit that way. So, like, please have a musical hit before I do. I'm not trying to get a musical hit, by the way. So, Y'all, what did I say? Did I say 8:30?
I think so.
You
Yes.
did.
It's been a minute.
All right,
You
y'all.
did.
All right, I guess we are done for the day. We'll be back tonight at 11 p.m. on the backup. If you see anybody out there in the TikTok streets, let them know that until I hear back from Nebula, I'll let y'all know if the appeal gets approved or not. But if not, we'll be back here on the backup. The show will continue to go on. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for all the shares, the likes, and the comments. All of the gifts as well. I hope y'all have a rest of the beautiful day. If you are performing tonight on Zena's live, good luck. I won't be able to watch it because I got to sleep so that I can be up for the live. But I'll see y'all tonight.
Love y'all.
Love
Bye.
y'all. Bye,
Destiny.
y'all.
Sorry.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.